interest into the structures at different surfaces, and accordingly, how are the distresses happens, right? So corrosion, carbonation, all these problems we have discussed yesterday. And also we are seeing that how the moisture, the other problems arises in the different basement areas. Am I right? Okay, and then we discuss as per IS 456 how the way we can do the right construction. And the right construction practices, what are the areas we should take care of. Okay? So that was our yesterday's first discussion. And second session we have taken by the basement session. The foundation, substructures, and the basements. So different areas of the basements, what are the grades of the basement, then what are the types of the waterproofing, and what kind of the waterproofing to be selected for what, where, and why to be selected. Right? That is most important is why to be selected. The materials and the systems are not that much important. It's important that why you have selected the material and how I should execute that in the right manner so that it gets a thing. So we have talked about the designs, drawings, how to do the basement waterproofing. Am I right, everybody? Clear on that? Okay. So and then we have seen the applications also. Yesterday you have done the application. How many of you have done on your own hand? You raise the hand. On your own hand, who has done? You have done. Good. Good. Fantastic. Very good. So what you have applied? Which one you have done? White color. You have done what you have done?
Facing overlap.
Overlapping. Overlapping. You? Same overlapping you have done. And the blue and white overlapping has been done?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Foundation and wall panel.
Don't remember the names. I just want you to believe blue black is enough for me. Tell me.
It's a black sheet with a white on the top. There's this space and we remove it and pasted it so that we can know that near the retaining wall, we can use it for the retaining. The leakage will be
fine. You have understood yesterday we had discussed on the confined, what is mean by the confined waterproofing, confined areas, unconfined areas, right? We had discussed how you have to, when it is a confined, how you have to do the tanking protection to be given inside, where to be given outside, why it is to be given, right? So that also we have discussed yesterday. Right? So today we will be going ahead with the areas which is one of the key areas. Even if we face the domestic issues also, the wet areas. Wet areas, what I mean by the bathrooms, kitchens, wash areas. Okay, these are the three is the wet areas. As the terminology goes, again there are the codal practices. Mr. Rashtrapati will be taking through that. There are the Australian codes, New Zealand codes, the specifications and other things he will be going to talk about that. Here, even if there is a BCA guideline, okay, Building Construction Academy guideline of the Singapore, how the way the bathroom is made. Now you might have seen that today's the bathroom concept has been changing in the building industry. The whole modular bathroom is taken into and placed into your home. So that is another way of doing the bathroom. It is not the old ways of doing the sunken. So in that cases, what to be done? Very modular bathroom is taken into a room and that is one of the very key elements of the wet areas. Right? So that will be taken care of. We'll be discussing on that. What are the systems, how it is designed, drawing specifications is very important. Then we'll be also covering the retaining structures. Retaining structures is the water tanks, swimming pools, STPs, right? Okay, and the reservoirs. Because there are criticalities into that. When you are putting the any kind of liquids into that, what are the pressures are coming? Where are the areas where from the actually leakages happen? How we should design it in the right manner. Okay, so that will be our session today. So we have with us experience into these areas. So more than around 15-20 years experience into this. So we'll be talking about that. And after that, just request very first thing I really like everyone that interaction. Okay, I want everybody to interact, especially students. Huh? I want interaction from. Let it be a very damn dummy questions, whatever it is. Okay, I want a whatever questions comes into your mind that I take it. That's a very important question. Am I clear? Okay. Somebody will think something. If I ask the question, please ask the question first. Let's ask first. Okay, so we'll do that today, and today we'll also have another session how to do the remedial repairs and the remedial waterproofing of all these sections, and then we'll in the second half we'll go for the practical demonstrations also. Clear? Should we start? Everybody has taken breakfast. Should we start?
Yes.
Thank you. Please.
Good morning, one and all. First of all, very thank you for this great opportunity. Thanks to Satnita sir. Thanks to Ma'am, Easwari Engineering College. Thanks to all. I am Maspati. I am a civil engineer of 27 years experience. Past 15 years I am in Cordially, and before that, another 6 years I was in another company, construction company. So 20 years in the construction chemical industry only, mainly water. Prior to that, I was as a civil engineer, site engineer, working various. Now we will go to the session. Today I am going to take the wet areas waterproofing. Wet areas waterproofing. Wet areas is generally what you people are thinking. Wet areas. What it may be. Can you look at it? Why it is called wet areas?
Always water flow.
Water certain areas. Yes, where water is there. So that area is called wet area. In other terminology, it is called sunken slab. The slab will sunk. Nowadays, sunken slab will not be there. Normal slab. So both the areas you have to take care. You have to do complete waterproofing. Those structures. So what are the technologies available? How to do the waterproofing? What are the specifications we have to do? How to execute? Detail we can discuss. So wet areas waterproofing. The right time to waterproof your bathroom is when it is on paper. Why? Because we have to choose that correct product, correct system. Because if you see any building, any section, the leakage will be through the bathrooms. External side you might have seen in many apartments, the leakage will be there on the pipe side. So we have to address, we have to take care very properly the wet areas. And nowadays, if you see all the apartments, the leakage will be from the bottom of the slab, underneath of the slab. Whereas the source of the leakage will be on the top. So sufferer will be from bottom of the flat, but source will be on the top. So we have to address properly. Then only the issue will be resolved. So why? Because we have to select the proper waterproofing system on paper. The structure itself we have to protect. So what code says about waterproofing products? There are various waterproofing products and systems are available across the globe. So what are the systems we can take? So these are the international codes. Not only in India, we got through across the globe and we find out what are the codes are available, what are the technical parameters we have to take to give proper product and system for the toilet bacteria waterproofing. First is a EN 1489. Fundamental characteristics. Initial adhesion tensile strength 0.5 Newton per mm². Okay, this is very important. Tensile strength of the product and good bonding.
Just sharing.
So these are the details. These are the main technical parameters we should follow. What are the design consideration for wet areas? Better bonding. The system, the product should have a very good bonding to the substrate and easy application by brush or roller. Because the bathroom size will be very small, 4 feet by 8 feet or 6 feet by 10 feet maximum. So
You said the source, no? Source. You mentioned actually Australia.
There is a BIS code. The BIS COP was made in 1993. Okay, and that is a very obsolete one which is having that septic tank and all those. The recent one which is coming up, actually this is still under the BIS provisions. It is yet not in the draft stage. Okay, which is as per your that ANZ code, ANZ Australian code what you showed now right now. It is on the guideline of the similar one. That's the 4848 as you are saying. That is 4848 is a wet area. Another one is that there is a called the what is that? 6348 something number is the Australian code. 16471 is the basement. That is for underground structure. This is for wet areas. So wet areas, Indian standard. That is 2017. Indian COP on the code of practice under COP in BIS was made in 1993. Okay, but there was no code actually. Okay, so this is a guideline. This is a COP guideline. But the code which is still under preparation, it's on a draft stage based on the Australian and the Singapore combination. But it is coming up. It will be coming up very soon.
Okay. But actually, this is country to country. They differ from our documents.
There, even if 16471, what I told you, that has come from that 8014. Okay, 801. Yesterday you have saying that. Now, what they have made the, according to the situation of India, what are the guidelines to be taken, what are the things. So major guidelines are taken and then they have placed it as per Indian condition. That's change always do. That is a committee, they do that. That is so, but major points where the what system characteristics, what are the things requirement, that is they are taking from those two guidelines. So PCA and the Australian code combination and then Indian scenario wise that is coming, because Indian scenario earlier days, now in the last 10-15 years you might be seeing that all these kind of the non-sunk bathrooms, dry wall bathrooms, then modular bathrooms is still a very climate condition is one part. Climate condition is definitely one part, but the concept of the bathroom, concept of the washroom is changing. Now, in the old days, you are only having the sunk. There is only the sunk bathrooms. Okay. Then after that, it's a non-sunk bathroom. Then coming your dry wall section bathrooms. Okay. Then coming your modular bathrooms. So all these time to time it is coming to them. The PCA guidelines on modular bathroom, which is of around 2005, but we are not having that modular bathroom yet. So that is why it is by stages. Yeah, stages. It is stages system. Yeah.
What are the design considerations we have to take? One is better bonding. The system, the product should have a very good bonding to the substrate. And easy to application. Like rush or roller, because the room size will be very small. You cannot take very big material, should be easy application. And the existing care will be taken for the bore packing. Just lot of pipe will be there inside. So we have to take care. What are the bore packing systems to be done? And crack fitting. They have the very good crack fitting. So these are all the design considerations to select a proper product for the wet area product. So what are the chances of failure rate indicators? This you might have seen. The many bathrooms, ceilings, corners, and the pipe outlets. You can see here through this water will go inside and fitting seal and door seals, and you can see the ceilings. So a lot of dampness. So how to address this? So what are the precautions we have to take? So the execution, waterproofing product and system. It is advisable to take the cementitious waterproofing system for the toilet because the span will be very less, only 4 feet or 6 feet, and the length also will be very small, 6 feet or 10 feet, that much only. So the cementitious coatings is the very high. There are two types of cementitious coatings are available: single component and double component. So what we will do? First, see, two component cementitious coating. This is one rubber sheet. On that, we have applied this two component cementitious coating. It will come in a powder and liquid form. We will mix together. Then we will apply this on the surface. After application, you can see the flexibility. It should have very good flexible material and crack building ability. So system sequence will be first we will do the bore packing. Cementitious. No, this is one purpose.
Over the sheet they are applied. It's just a sample now as applied.
This is a
The common color, that is the
you explain the body coating. The sponge is not a coating. The sponge it is made on the sponge to show you the flexibility. Show you the flexibility of it.
Sir, normal section, basic preparative sir, direct. But normally, first floor and wall joint treatment. Any structure, floor and wall joint is essential. More packing is essential. If a sunken, systems concrete structures Mayon settling structures. That's different methodology adopt one by one discuss discuss cementitious product discuss. Okay. As per CPW inspector, CPW but now we use polymer and the proper as per IS 2645 we requested to change that, but due to various reasons
coating
sample
coating apply பண்ணி காட்டிருக்காங்க.
We'll show you the coating application.
So the bore packing. Then we do the arching all the corners.
The bore packing procedure you tell. How to do bore packing because of lot of leakages coming from bore packing.
Yes.
Bore packing and another one is what is the methodology for doing for RCC wall and brick wall. Both you have. Yes, because of lot of leakages coming. Compliance is coming continuously.
So அதெல்லாம் எப்படி ட்ரீட்மென்ட் பண்றது? ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வந்து போர் கட்டிங் பண்ணிப்போம். உங்களோட பைப் வந்து 150 mm or 200 mm என்ன டயாவோ அதோட எக்ஸ்ட்ரா வந்து 20 mm எக்ஸ்ட்ரா ஒரு டயா வச்சுட்டேன். 150 னா இந்த பக்கம் 20 இந்த பக்கம் 140 அப்படி 20 mm எக்ஸ்ட்ரா வச்சுட்டு போர் கட் பண்ணிப்போம். போர் கட் பண்ணிட்டு PVC பைப் வந்து நீங்க வந்து அது ஃபிக்ஸ் பண்றதுக்கு முன்னாடி சுத்தி வந்து டபுள் சைடட் டேப் பாக்ஸில் டேப்னு சொல்லிட்டு டபுள் சைடட் டேப் அந்த டேப் வந்து கம்ப்ளீட்டா வந்து
பைப்பை ரப் பண்ணணுமா இல்ல அப்படியே பண்ணிடலாமா?
இல்ல அதுக்கு தான் சரி ரெண்டு மெத்தட்
You can see this. This is the model. So you can see there is a core cut, right? And then now here the core cut has been done. This is the pipe diameter and how much is the core cut has been done. And then after the core cut has been done, this is the tape which has to be put. He will explain about the detail. This is a double-sided tape. Why it is put? Because your PVC never bonds to concrete. Okay, so this will be done. He will talk about that. It's a bituminous tape. He will talk about. and then these sides has to be scouted. So that is the way it is a bore packing is done. Okay, so you will explain. You can show you.
So my question is whatever, sir. Whether this double type, whether we can put it directly or you have to rub the pipe and do it.
No, you can put directly. It will be having a good bonding with PVC. Normally, what we used to do is we will scrap the we will rub and put a slight bonding agent. Over that, we will be pouring grouting. So now a lot of changes has happened. Now the systems are being proposed because it is a major area where we will be getting most of the leakages. That too, not immediately. On the extended days, over the period of time, maybe 4 years or 5 years, first நம்ம leakage point எந்த flatல பார்த்தாலும் வெளிய external spout, external.
Yes, that's right.
அதனால இப்போ வந்து we are changing the methodologies. இதெல்லாம் ஒரு இன்வென்ஷன் புதுசா ஏதாவது வரும்போது நம்ம பண்றோம். So what we are giving is the double side tape போடுறோம். So
அந்த PVC பைப் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் PVC பைப் எடுத்து கம்ப்ளீட்டா வந்து க்ளீன் பண்ணிட்டு என்ன டஸ்ட் என்ன இருக்கும் கம்ப்ளீட்டா க்ளீன் பண்ணிட்டு இந்த டபுள் சைடு டேப் வந்து ஃபுல்லா லாக் பண்ணிடுவோம். லாக் பண்ணிட்டு PVC பைப் வந்து இன்சர்ட் பண்ணிட்டு என்ன பண்ணுவோம் பாட்டில்ல வந்து
ரெக்கார்ட் அடிச்சு ஃபுல்லா சீல் பண்ணிட்டோம். அது முன்னாடி சார் சொன்ன மாதிரி டபுள் சைடு இது போட்டோம் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா முன்னாடி அந்த ஸ்லாபோட திக்னஸ் போட்டு ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் 4 inch அந்த மாதிரி இருந்தால் அதுக்கு ஏற்ற மாதிரி ரேப் பண்ணி PVC ஃபிக்ஸ் பண்ணிட்டு கீழே ரெக்கார்ட் சுற்றி தெரிவித்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஃபிக்ஸ் பண்ணி ஏன்னா நம்ம போர் பண்ற கிரவுண்ட் வந்து கீழே சிக்கக்கூடாது.
வந்து உள்ள ஃபுல்லா இன்சர்ட் பண்ணிடுவோம் கம்ப்ளீட்டா வாட்டர் டைட் ஆயிடும். சோ தட் நீங்க மேல இருந்து ஃப்ரீ ஃப்ளோ கீழே வந்து
அது வந்து செட் ஆனதுக்கு அப்புறம் நெக்ஸ்ட் டே செட் ஆனதுக்கு அப்புறம் கீழே ரெக்கார்ட் ரிமூவ் பண்ணி
side wall how to do? How to the backer rod எங்க வைக்கிறது side wall ல?
Side wall ல backer rod வந்து ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வந்து ஸ்விட்ச் கட்டிடுறீங்க. ஸ்விட்ச் கட்டிட்டு வெளிய சைடு வந்து பைப் வந்து இன்சர்ட் பண்ணிட்டு அவுட்டர் சைடுல வந்து பாட்டம் சைடு கம்ப்ளீட்டா இந்த
around that pipe வந்தா
அரௌண்ட் ஃபுல்லா மேல பண்றேன். இல்ல பாட்டம் செமி சர்க்குலர்
outer side ல
உள்ள சைடுல இருந்து பேக் பண்ணுங்க.
கவர் பண்ணிடலாம் சார். வெளியே ஃப்ளோவபிள் லைக் போவா மாதிரி எல்லாம் கவர் பண்ணிட்டு பேக் மோட்டர் பாலிமர் மோட்டர் தான். இதுல கிரவுட் எதுவுமே இல்லை. சிமெண்ட் சாண்ட் நம்ம யூஆர்பி இருக்கு அதுல வச்சு ஃபிக்ஸ் பண்ணிட்டு ஃபுல்லா பின்னாடி ஃபுல்லா வெளியே பேக் பண்ணணும். தண்ணி வெளியே ஃப்ளோ போகிற மாதிரி பேக் பண்ணதுக்கு அப்புறம் உள்ள ஃபுல்லா கிரவுட் பேக் DP2 and cement mortar TMM mix பண்ணி தான அது ஃப்ளோ இருக்காது. சோ எல்லாமே mix பண்ணி தான் ஃபிக்ஸ் பண்ணி பேக் பண்ணலாம்.
அப்ப இந்த என்ன அந்த பண்ணிட்டா நடுவுல
இல்ல ஃபுல்லாவே
இன்சர்ட் பண்ணிட்டு
so the non sink grout வந்து GP1 ஆ GP2 ஆ?
சார் ஆக்சுவலா பிராங்க் என்ன சார்
GP1 போதலையா GP1 போட கூடாது.
நார்மலாவே சொல்லிடுறேன் ஒரே ஒரு ஏன்னா இப்போ நீங்க நிறைய டைராய்டு ஹோல்ஸ் எல்லாமே பாத்தீங்க சைட்ல நான் சொல்றேன். இப்போ இந்த மாதிரி கிரவுட்ஸ் எல்லாமே கொஞ்சம் ஹையர் வெர்ஷன் போகணும். மேபி நம்ம கமர்ஷியல்லாம் பார்க்கல. எனி கிரவுட் இட் ஷுட் பி a free flow grout. இப்போ GP2 அதர் கிரவுட்ஸ் இப்போ எங்க கிட்ட பிடி கிரவுட் எல்லாம் டிலைட் பேர் எடுத்துக்கிறேன். GP2 ஆர் எனி அதர் கிரவுட் இட் ஹேஸ் a capacity ஓரளவு ஃப்ளோபிலிட்டி இருக்கு. பட் இந்த மாதிரி ஸ்ட்ரக்சர்ஸ்க்கு in future there will be some other products. If in case of Pidilite, if you can take Pager. In case of Force Rock, if you can take GP3. There are high flow materials. It should be a self flowing. The youth number of day raise up SEC concrete mari just to pon apra automatically it should come அப்படியே வரா மாதிரி இருந்தா full pack ஆகும். Base plate mari அதுக்கு it has an expansion
அதே வந்து ஃபுல்லா ஃப்ளோ ஆயிட்டு கம்ப்ளீட்டா பேக் ஆகும்.
ஆனா நம்மளோட இதுக்கு இன்னும் வரல. இப்பதான் ஒண்ணு
சரி GP1 அந்த மாதிரி ஆகாதா?
இல்ல GP1 is lesser than GP2. இது எல்லாமே நான்
இல்ல एक्चुअली லோட் வந்து எடுக்கல. இது வந்து ஸ்டாட்டிக் லோட் தான்.
even though for filling each product have ஒரு flowability-ன்றது வந்து நார்மலா கிரவுட் நீங்க பாத்தீங்கன்னா இனிஷியல் ஃப்ளோ செக் பண்ணுவாங்க. 15 minutes flowability செக் பண்ணுவாங்க. ஒரு ஃப்ளோ டேபிள் எடுத்தீங்கன்னா as per PS எடுத்தீங்கன்னா ஃப்ளோ டேபிள் செக் பண்ணுவாங்க. உங்களுக்கு வந்து it should be around 225 mm. அதனால அந்த ஃப்ளோயபிலிட்டிக்கு வந்து ஹை ஃப்ளோ மெட்டீரியல் இருந்ததுனால தான் உங்களுக்கு இந்த செல்ஃப் லெவலிங்லாம் வரும். நம்மளோட சைட் கண்டிஷன்ஸ்க்கு அந்த அளவுக்கு அது ப்ராப்பரா பண்ண முடியாது தான் நான் சொல்றேன். நம்ம இப்போ கிரவுண்ட் இப்போ இதுதான் எக்ஸிஸ்டிங் யூஸ் பண்ணி ஹை ஃப்ளோ மெட்டீரியல்ஸ் இருந்தா இட் வில் பி வெரி பர்ஃபெக்ட். ஈவன்
அதுதான் இதுல வாட் ஐ அம் டெல்லிங்னா சோ இப்போ GP1 பாத்தீங்கன்னா இப்போ இதுல வந்து ஸ்டாட்டிக் லோடு தான் இருக்கும். ரோட்டரி கிடையாது. வாட்டர் இருந்தாடா அதனால வந்து GP1 போலாமேன்றது என்னோட
It is a filling material.
ஃபில்லிங் மெட்டீரியல் தானே GP1 GP2 is very costlier.
Any grout with
free flow grout.
Free flow grout you can go.
Any brand you can go. It should be free flow. If you flow here, pour here, the grout should touch the end point.
இல்ல அதுல R&D ஏதாவது பண்ணிருக்கீங்களா? GP1 பண்ணா ஏதாவது அவர காம்ப்ளிகேஷன்ஸ் அந்த மாதிரி
இல்ல ஃபுல்லா
free flow. It's a filling material தானே. Because why I am asking now, because why you are giving emphasizing to do the GP2 ன்றீங்களா? அத GP1 பண்ணலாம்ன்றது
இல்ல சார் ப்ராடக்ட் pricing ல any grout of any company free flow.
ஓகே that is உங்களுதுல பிடி கிரவுட் ஏதோ இருக்கும் ரைட் ஓகே.
So first we will do the pore packing. Then we will do the three-part test. Any waterproofing treatment. Before applying the waterproofing treatment, we have to do the three-part test. After doing this pore packing, we will fill the water up to 3 inches and we will check for minimum 48 hours. We will check any leakages there underneath. If any leakage is there, we will injection from the water system. Then we will remove the water at the top. Then we will apply polymer water and all the wall floor junctions all around. Polymer water and fiber mesh. We will apply and put it. Because the wall floor junction is the very vulnerable point. All the corners. All corners.
हांजी
Polymer matter and we will apply extra coat on the corners with fiber mesh.
நமக்கு எதனால வந்து லோன் அப்படி அந்த ஒரு பர்பஸ்க்காக லோன்
So after completing that, we will do the complete 2-component cementitious waterproofing coating. We will apply and up to 300 mm above diaphragm.
Actually, the sample the liquid and polymer is between 2K. இது வந்து 10 kg வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா பவுடர் 5 polymer ரெண்டுமே மிக்ஸ் பண்ணி டைல்யூட் பண்ணிட்டு டைரக்டா அப்ளை பண்ணிட்டு வாட்டர் பவுடர் அண்ட் பாலிமர்.
Surely getting all these crucial nutritious waterproofing systems with several important properties like much higher elongation, creative water pressure. Next is the higher performing cementitious polymer waterproof coating for concrete and masonry surfaces, which provides complete protection in several ways. It has excellent addition to concrete. Its main advantage can stretch up to 100 products is that Fastflex is highly flexible and elastomeric and can stretch up to 150%. Therefore, it can easily accommodate cracks up to 2 mm width during thermal movements in concrete, even in areas up to 600 square meters. It also has high film thickness of 1.2 to 1.5 millimeter in 2 coats, giving longer life of the coating. It gives you a seamless coating, no joints, and thus no scope for leakages. Fastflex is highly suitable for waterproof treatment of swimming pools, since it can be used on the positive side of water pressure, even up to a 10-meter water head. This is more than the depth of any regular swimming pool. Because of its many flex, pankaj, and raft slab to remove the debris, top of the cured and dried slab. The application surface should be cleaned to remove all loose material. Use a vacuum cleaner to remove the debris. Saturate the surface with water before application of Fastflex. Remove egg.
So the surface to be saturated before applying any cementitious coating. SST condition. We call SST, surface saturated dry condition. If we touch the surface, there should not be any water in our hand. The surface should be wet. That is called SST condition. Before applying any cementitious, that is very, very important. Before doing any cementitious waterproofing.
Excess water. The surface should be in a saturated surface dry condition. Dr. Fixit Fast Flex consists of a powder and a liquid. Use the entire quantity of the liquid and add the entire. Dr. Fixit Fast Flex consists of a powder and.
So this is two components cementitious coating as I told. Powder and liquid will be there. It's a white color polymers and powder it's a fine sand, cement and waterproofing ingredient will be there. So powder and liquid total you will get 7 plus 5.
And a liquid. Use the entire quantity of the liquid and add the entire quantity of powder in the bag to it. Mix at slow speed using a drill.
So the mixing always should be liquid we have to take, you have to pour the powder, not vice versa. Always you have to take the liquid, then you have to pour the powder, then you have to mix.
Machine fitted with a panel till you get a consistent mix. Using a wet 4-inch paintbrush, apply the first coat of the mix Fast Flex on the prepared surface. Apply Dr. Fixit Fast Flex to the vertical surfaces also, right?
So this is typical, but we have to assume this is for the sunken slab. First we do the surface preparation, all the surface, the fill test, then we do the SST condition surface, then application of 2 coats of Fast Flex. Fast Flex is our brand, 2 coats of cementitious coating. Then we have to apply the protective plaster, the integral waterproofing compound. Then we have to do the filling with brickwork comma, second filling, whatever it is, proper filling should be done. Then tile adhesive you have to lay. Before that tile adhesive, then tile adhesive and tile grout on the joints. There should not be any paper joints. Proper gap spacer should be provided, 3 mm. Then it should be epoxy grout should be applied on the top.
Up top edges to ensure complete waterproofing. Allow this coat to dry for 4 to 6 hours. Now, prepare another batch of Dr. Fixit Fast Flex as before. Apply a second coat of Fast Flex. The direction of this coat must be 90 degrees to the direction of the first coat. Again, allow this coat to dry for 4 to 6 hours. Now, prepare a third batch of Dr. Fixit Fast Flex as before. Apply a third coat of Fast Flex. The direction of this coat must be 90 degrees to the direction of the second coat. While wet, sprinkle coarse sand on the coating to.
Because the surface is vertical surface, you have to sprinkle the sand. It will act as a mechanical. Liquid material. Paste
practical में करना सर कहीं को
paste material.
So 3 coat we have to do what? Swimming pools for 3 coat.
So
Sunken is two.
water body is continuous இருக்கும் சார். அந்த இடத்துல for precaution காக 3 coats அடிக்கிறோம் சார். மத்தபடி sunken bathroomல வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா roofலாம் பாத்தீங்கன்னா 2 coats வேணும். 2 coats sir for bathroom. For only water bodies 3 coats is recommended. Sir இது எப்படி preparation சொல்லிறேன் சார். First surface preparation சார். மீதிங்கலாம் ஃபுல்லா பண்றீங்க. டெப்ரிஸ் அதுக்கு அப்புறம் வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா கார்னர் ஃபுல்லா வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா ஹாஞ்சிங் பண்ணிடுங்க. ஹாஞ்சிங் பண்ணி முடிச்சிட்டு நார்மல் சிமெண்ட் மோட்டார் எங்களோட டெக்னிக்ஸ் URP யூஸ் பண்ணுவீங்க. பெடிகிரேட் URP. So depend upon weight. Then afterwards பாத்தீங்கன்னா வாட்டர் பாயிண்ட் டெஸ்டிங் பண்ணுவீங்க. தண்ணி நிப்பாட்டுவீங்க. நிப்பாட்டும் போது பாத்தீங்கன்னா கீழே தண்ணி டிப் ஆகுது இல்ல சார். ஹேண்டிங் பண்ணி முடிச்சுட்டு தண்ணி நிப்பாட்டணும். என்னன்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா மதர்ஸ்க்காக நம்ம கான்கிரீட் ஏதாச்சும் டீசென்ட்ரிங் பண்ணும்போது போரஸ் ஏதாச்சும் உள்ள லைக் சின்ன சின்ன ஏர்லைன் கிராக்ஸ் இருக்கும், அது உள்ளே தண்ணி இறங்கும். அதனால வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா தண்ணி நிப்பாட்டும். 1 day மார்னிங் தண்ணி ஹேண்டிங் பண்ணிட்டு தண்ணி நிப்பாட்டும். நிப்பாட்ட பிறகு கீழே பாத்தீங்கன்னா தண்ணி சொட்டுச்சுன்னா அந்த இடத்துல கிரவுட்டிங் பண்ற மாதிரி இன்ஜெக்ஷன் கிரவுட்டிங். அது சிமெண்டிஷியஸ் கிரவுட்டிங் சார். நம்ம பாத்தீங்கன்னா நம்ம வந்து எப்பவுமே தண்ணி வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா கார்னர்ல ரீசெட் பாத்தீங்கன்னா ட்ரிப்போ இல்ல பிளாக்கோ நம்ம ஸ்லாப் உட்கார இடத்துல கண்டிப்பா ஜாயிண்ட் இருக்கும். அந்த ஜாயிண்ட் தான் நம்ம சீல் பண்ணதுக்கு அப்புறம் தண்ணி நிப்பாட்டு. நம்ம என்ன தண்ணி நிப்பாட்டு ஃப்ளோர்ல தண்ணி ஏதாச்சும் கிராக் இருக்கா செக் பண்றதுக்காக தான். கார்னர் வந்து நம்ம கவர் பண்றோம். அடுத்து தண்ணி இறந்தா கார்னர் கிளிக் பண்ணி ரீட்ரீட்மெண்ட் பண்ணிக்கலாம். 100% ஹேண்டிங் பண்ணி தான் தண்ணி நிப்பாட்டு. Then afterwards grouting பண்ணது பிறகு in case தண்ணி வரல லைக் டேம்பஸ் மட்டும் தான் இருக்குன்னா பிரச்சனை இல்லை. வாட்டர் டிப் ஆனா மட்டுமே இன்ஜெக்ஷன் grouting பண்ணது பிறகு லைக் as usual கட் பண்ணிட்டு தண்ணி ரிமூவ் பண்ணிட்டு SST கண்டிஷன் சார் சொல்லிட்டார். சர்ஃபேஸ் சேச்சுரேஷன் ட்ரை கண்டிஷன் இல்ல கீழ grouting பண்ணிட்டீங்க பாத்தீங்களா. grouting பாத்தீங்கன்னா 45 டிகிரில பண்ணுவீங்க. 45 டிகிரி நாசில் ஃபிக்ஸ் பண்ணுவாங்க. ஆஃப் ஆஃப் தி பைப் உள்ள இருக்கும், பேலன்ஸ் ஆஃப் மேல இருக்கும். அந்த பேலன்ஸ் ஆஃப் கட் பண்ணிக்கணும் சார். கட் பண்ணி சீலிங் வந்து லெவல் பண்ணிக்கணும், ஃபில்லிங் பண்ணிட்டு then afterwards water remove பண்ணிட்டு SST condition surface saturation dry condition ஃபுல்லா தண்ணி ஃபுல்லா ரிமூவ் பண்ணிட்டு மாய்ஸ்சர் இல்லாதப்போ போடுங்க. லீக்கேஜ் இருந்தா மட்டும் தான் ரெக்கமெண்ட். இதுதான் சார் ஹேண்டிங் வந்து சைடு வால் குக் வாலான வந்து ஹேண்டிங் பண்ணலாம். இது ஆர்சிசி இருந்தா கம்பல்சரி எண்டோர் ஜாயிண்ட் ரெகுலேஷன்ஸ் கார்னர் ஜாயிண்ட்ஸ் நேத்து கூட சார் சொல்லிருப்பாரு. ஸ்டார்டர் ஜாயிண்ட்ஸ் இஸ் வெரி இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் கிரிட்டிகலிட்டி. நீங்க ஆர்சிசியா போட்டாலும் அந்த இடத்துல வந்து கண்டிப்பா வந்து பீம் வருது இல்ல, அப்ஸ்டாண்ட் பீம் போட்டுருப்பீங்க, போட்டு மேல ஃபில்லிங் பண்ணி சங்கன் போடுறீங்க. அப்ஸ்டாண்ட்ல கூட பண்ணி தான் தரோம். ஹேண்டிங் இஸ் ரெகுலரைஸ். ஏன்னா வந்து ஃபியூச்சர் வந்து தண்ணி இறங்கும் போது ஃபர்ஸ்ட் 2 பாயிண்ட்ல இறங்கும். ஒன்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா கார்னர்ல இறங்கும், இன்னொன்னு ட்ரெயின் அவுட்ல இறங்கும், இல்ல வந்து சில இடத்துல கிராக்ஸ் இருந்தா ஃப்ளோர்ல கிராக்ஸ் அதுல இறங்கும். சோ அதனால for precautions hanging is mandatory. இங்க இல்ல சங்கன் இல்ல swimming pool, terrace, podium or else like if OHT, UG sound, STP எது இருந்தாலுமே hanging is recommended sir. லாஸ்டிங் பண்ண லேயர் எக்ஸ்ட்ரா வைக்கணும் சார். அதெல்லாம் வந்து பார்ட் ஸ்பெசிஃபிகேஷன் இல்ல இதுல கவர்மெண்ட் ஸ்பெசிஃபிகேஷன் இல்ல உங்களது பண்றது சார். சிபிடபிள்யூ அது மாதிரி கொடுத்துருக்காங்க. இல்ல சிபிடபிள்யூ அது இருக்கு அந்த பிட்டுமினஸ் கோட்டிங்ன்றதால உங்களுக்கு அந்த மாதிரி அவங்க ப்ரொசீஜரே கொடுத்துருக்காங்க. அந்த ப்ரொசீஜர் பிரகாரம் இது பண்றாங்க. சம்திங் டிஃபரண்ட். பிட்டுமினஸ் ஸ்பெக்ல அது மேல யூ வில் பீ கோயிங் ஃபார் பிட்டுமினஸ் கோட்டிங். அது மேல ஷீட் போட சொல்றோம். அதெல்லாம் வந்து ஓல்டர் ஸ்பெசிஃபிகேஷன். அதெல்லாம் நம்ம கடந்து வந்துட்டோம். இட்ஸ் நெக்ஸ்ட் லெவல் ஆஃப் வாட்டர். என்ன சார் இல்ல அதான் சொல்றேன். அதற்கு தப்பே இல்ல சார். என்னன்னா சார் எனி ஸ்பெஷலைஸ்ட் வாட்டர் ப்ரூஃபிங் கன்ஸ்ட்ரக்ஷன் கெமிக்கல் மேனுஃபேக்சரர் என்ன பாத்தீங்கன்னா they will recommend water proofing coating to be applied on the other slab. And as that will be a small micro portion. If you apply this coating, any particular are called as water coating. That coating the material will penetrate not into the small micro portion. It will block. So if you apply any layer, separation layer, plaster, that is not. So that's why we are recommending any waterproofing coating should be applied on the other slab. Then you can do your activities, protection, plaster, screen conduit, whatever. So as a specialized waterproofing agency, we recommend always waterproofing should be applied on the mother slab. Maybe a sunken or a terrace basement where the system should be applied on the mother slab. Okay. So after this, we will do the protective plaster, mixed with the integrated waterproofing compound and proper filling material. Then plaster, then tile, adhesive, tile with rapid tile on. Minimum 300 mm above FR. அதுக்கு மேல எங்கெல்லாம் கட்டி பண்ற ஏரியா வரைக்கும் பண்ணலாம். அதுக்கு மேலேயே பண்ணலாம், அப்பாவும் பண்ணலாம். பாத்தீங்கன்னா 4 சைடு வால் இருக்கு. அது வந்து ஒரு சைடு வந்து ஷவர் ஏரியா வந்து 7 ஃபீட் வரைக்கும். சங்கன் 1 ஃபீட்னா சங்கன் 1 ஃபீட் சார். அதுக்கு மேல வந்து இதான் சங்கன். ஓகேங்களா? இது வந்து நார்மல் போர்டு. இந்த சைடுல வந்து வால் ரைஸ் ஆயிடுச்சு.
முருகன் முருகன் சொல்றாரு 300 mm from FFL.
இந்த FFL இருந்து 300 mm. எக்ஸ்ட்ரா பண்ண அந்த ஆர்கிடெக்ட் இருக்குங்களா டோர் எடுத்து அந்த இடத்துக்கு மட்டும் தான் பண்ற மாதிரி. ஜஸ்ட் வெளியே வர ஸ்கூட்டே இருக்கு. ஆர்கிடெக்ட் வந்து த்ரெஷோல்ட் எடுத்து பண்றீங்கன்னா அந்த இடத்துல மட்டும் தான் பண்ணணும். மத்தபடி பார்த்தா 300 mm FFL. கிளாஸ் ஏரியான்றது தண்ணி தெளிக்கும். அந்த இடத்துல வந்து தண்ணி வால்ல இருந்து வரது சான்சஸ் இருக்கு. அதனால அந்த இடத்துல பேப்பர் சைடுக்கு 6 feet வந்து டைட் எந்த டேட் வால் டேட் பண்றீங்கன்னா அந்த பேக்கிங் பண்ணும்போதே அடிஷனல் பண்ணும்போது பைப்
அதுக்கப்புறம் தான் வந்து பைப் வந்து நார்மலா அந்த மாதிரி எதுவுமே இந்த மாதிரி கன்ஸ்ட்ரக்ஷன் அந்த மாதிரி பண்ணோம்னா த்ரெட்டட் மாதிரி போட்டுட்டு இட் ஷுட் பி கெப்ட் அட் தி இனிஷியல் ஸ்டேஜ் வச்சுட்டு அதுக்கப்புறம் த்ரெட் பண்ற மாதிரி இல்லைன்னா அப்புறம் உடச்சி திருப்பி பண்ணா கண்டிப்பா லீக். அந்த ப்ரிகாஷனரி முதலே எடுக்கணும். அதே மாதிரி இப்போ இந்த டேப் எல்லாம் ஷேர் பண்ணது வந்து ப்ராப்பர் கம்யூனிகேஷன் பிட்வீன் தி பிளம்பர் அண்ட் தி வாட்டர் ப்ரூஃபிங் கான்ட்ராக்ட். இல்லைன்னா பிளம்பருக்கு வந்து நம்ம எஜுகேட் பண்ணிடணும். இந்த மாதிரி வரும் இந்த டேப் கொடுப்போம். இது பண்ணும்போது ஒரு நாள் வாட்டர் ப்ரூஃபிங் கான்ட்ராக்ட் ஏதாவது சைட்ல ஸ்பெண்ட் பண்ற மாதிரி இருக்கும். ஆனா அந்த டிசிப்ளின் வந்ததுன்னா கரெக்ட் ஆயிடும். அவங்களுக்கும் பழக்கம் ஆயிடுச்சுன்னா அவங்க வச்சுருவோம். இது எல்லாமே காமன். நார்மலா நம்ம என்ன பண்ணுவோம்னா கிராக் பண்ணிட்டு பாண்டிங் பண்ணிட்டு நார்மல் ப்ரொசீஜர். இப்போ அடுத்த லெவலுக்கு வந்திருக்கு. டபுள் சைட் பிட்வீன் எஸ்கேப்ல ஒரு சைடு டேபிள் இருக்கும், இன்னொரு சைடு வந்து அந்த ஸ்லீவ் இருக்கும். அதை பிரிக்க மாட்டீங்க. எப்போ கிரவுண்ட் ஊத்துறீங்களோ அப்பதான் பிரிப்பீங்க. அதனால அந்த டைம் ஊத்தும்போது நல்லா பாண்டிங் நல்லா கிடைக்கும். எனக்கு அது சைட் லெவல்ல பண்ணலாம். ஏதாவது த்ரெட்டட் மாதிரி சொல்லலாம். ஃபிக்ஸ் பண்ணிட்டு த்ரெட்ல ஜாயின் பண்ற மாதிரி அந்த மாதிரி நம்ம பண்ணோம். லேட்டஸ்டா நேத்தோ முட்டானா கூட ஒரு
பிராக்டிகலா இப்ப என்ன நடக்குதுன்னா நம்ம வந்து இப்போ வந்து கன்ஸ்ட்ரக்ஷன் பண்ணிடுறோம், வால் ரைஸ் பண்ணிடுறோம். அதுக்கப்புறம் என்ன பண்றாங்க, இந்த கிரவுட் பண்றது, பைப் போர் பேக்கிங் எல்லாம் பண்ணிடுறாங்க. பேக்கிங் வாட் தே ஆர் டூயிங்னா internally they are doing, because when they are doing our external plastering, that time only they are doing the outside.
Sir, reason behind that patina access sir scaffolding இல்ல லே பண்ணி கொடுத்தா
அது அந்த டைம்ல பண்ண மாட்டாங்க. சோ அதனால தான்
இது வந்து காரைக்கால்ல பார்த்தேன்.
காரைக்கால்ல எல்லா ப்ராஜெக்ட்டும் எல்லா ப்ராஜெக்ட் practically when they are doing the outer scaffolding, when they are doing with the outer plastic time only they are doing the இல்ல அதுக்கு எப்படி பண்ணலாம்ன்றது தான்.
அப்படி இருக்கும்போது நம்ம வந்து ஃபர்ஸ்ட் இன்டர்னலாவே வந்து சென்டர் வாட்டர் வச்சு ஃபிக்ஸ் பண்ணிட்டு தென் ஃபுல்லா கம்ப்ளீட்டா பேக் பண்ணதுக்கு அப்புறம் தண்ணி நிப்பாட்டலாம். மேக்ஸிமம் வராது. தென் ஃபைனலா வெளிய அவுட்டர் பேக் பண்ணிடலாம். இட்ஸ் நாட் a mandatory. கேஸ் ஆக்சஸ் இருந்தா நீங்க வந்து பேக் பண்ணிட்டு பண்ணலாம். இல்லாத பட்சத்துல நம்ம வந்து டிபெண்ட் அப்பான் டயா வச்சு நம்ம இன்கேஸ் பிரிக் வால் வைக்கலாமா, டைரக்டா மோட்டர் வச்சு பேக் பண்ணலாமா, டயா வச்சு கொடுத்து ஃபுல்லா இன்செர்ட் பண்ணிடும். ஃபுல்லா லைக் பாத்தீங்கன்னா மோட்டர் வந்து இந்த கேப் எல்லாமே ஃபில் பண்ணி ஹேண்ட்லே தான், வேற ட்ரபிள்ல யூஸ் பண்ணுறது. ஹேண்ட்லே தான் வந்து ட்ரபிள்ல கொடுத்தீங்கன்னா உங்களுக்கு கேப்ல உங்களுக்கு வந்து இருக்க முடியாது. நம்ம கண்டிப்பா உங்க சைட்ல கூட இந்த டீம் கொண்டு வரோம். அப்ளிகேட்டர்ஸ் இருக்காங்க, சார் யூ டோன்ட் மைண்ட் சாய் வந்து சிட்டி நல்ல டிஸ்கஷன் வச்சுட்டேன். கண்டினியூஸ்
இல்ல ஒரு நேரம் முடிச்சாரு. அது விக்டோரியா கம்ப்ளீட் பண்ணிடுப்பா. விக்டோரியா கம்ப்ளீட் பண்ணிட்டோம்.
விக்டோரியா லைக் இன்னொரு 40 30 to 40 ஸ்டெப்ஸ் இருக்கும்.
பாத்ரூம் முடிச்சா போர் பேக்கிங் இருக்கு என்ன
வந்து முடிச்சிடலாம். விக்டோரியா
அதுதான் பாத்ரூம்ஸ் மட்டும் முடியும்.
இது வந்து 2 காம்பனன்ட் சிஸ்டம். இதுல வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா அது வந்து சிங்கிள் காம்பனன்ட் சிஸ்டம். அது வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா சப்போஸ் டிரைவால இருக்கு. டிரைவாலுக்கு வந்து சிங்கிள் காம்பனன்ட் இது வந்து ரெண்டு பவுடர் அண்ட் லிக்விட் இதுல வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா சிங்கிள் காம்பனன்ட் ப்ரீ பேக்டு வாட்டர் அது வந்து டைரக்டா நீங்க அப்ளை பண்ணலாம். அது வந்து அட்வான்டேஜ் பாத்தீங்கன்னா இதுல 360% elongation and 3 MPa tensile. So technical parameter we can see it's having very high tensile strength and elongation directly on the driver. R-type
இது பேசிக்கா என்னன்னா இப்ப நார்மலா இப்ப சங்கன் இல்லாம காம்பினேஷன் இந்த மைவான் செட்டிங் இல்லனா சிஸ்டம் போர்டு அது மாதிரி வந்து மேல வந்து டைல்ஸ் ஃபிக்ஸ் பண்ணனும் அப்படினா இந்த மாதிரி சிஸ்டம் சில சிஸ்டம்ஸ் எல்லாமே நமக்கு வந்து ப்ரொடெக்ஷன் பிளாஸ்டிக் இது தேவைப்படும். இந்த பர்டிகுலர் சிஸ்டம்க்கு மைவான் செட்டிங்லாம் போடும்போது உங்களுக்கு ஆல்மோஸ்ட் ஃபினிஷே வந்து நல்ல ஃபார்ம் ஃபினிஷா தான் இருக்கும். கான்கிரீட் ஃபினிஷே நல்ல ஃபினிஷா தான். அங்க போயிட்டு நீங்க அடிஷனல் டைமென்ஷன் ஏத்துறதுக்கு பிளாஸ்டிக்லாம் பண்ண முடியாது. அதனால இந்த மாதிரி சிஸ்டம்ஸ் இது வந்து எல்லாமே நீங்க பவுடர் அண்ட் பாலிமர் பாத்தீங்க. இது வந்து சிங்கிள் காம்பனன்ட் சிஸ்டம். பெயிண்ட் எப்படி இருக்குமோ அதே மாதிரி இருக்கும். ஜஸ்ட் இதை நீங்க அப்ளை பண்ணிடணும். ப்ராப்பர் ஜாயிண்ட் ட்ரீட்மெண்ட் இதுக்கு தனியா இருக்கும். இதுக்கு தனியா இருக்கு. ஏன்னா நார்மலா வந்து நீங்க நம்ம வந்து இதுக்கு சிமெண்ட் பாலிமர் வச்சு மாட்டர் வச்சு பேக் பண்ண முடியும். ஏன்னு கேட்டீங்கன்னா டைல் லேயர் வந்து அதை பிரேக் பண்ணிடும். அதனால இதுல வந்து 40 GSM ஜியோ ஃபேப்ரிக் ஸ்லீவ் வைப்பாங்கன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. எல் ஷேப்ல வந்து வச்சுட்டு இதுக்கு மேல ரெண்டு கோட்டிங் அடிப்பாங்க. அது செப்பரேட் எப்படி என்ன எக்ஸிகியூஷன் மெத்தடாலஜி என்னன்றது உங்களுக்கு நம்ம இது பண்ணும்போது ப்ராக்டிக்கல்.
வந்து சங்கல்ல வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா பில்டிங்கே வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா ரெண்டு டைப் இருக்கு. ஒன்னு வந்து ரெசிடென்ஷியல் பில்டிங், இன்னொன்னு வந்து கமர்ஷியல் பில்டிங். ரெசிடென்ஷியல் பில்டிங் வந்து டாய்லெட் வந்து சின்ன சின்னதா இருக்கும். கமர்ஷியல் பில்டிங் பெரிய மால்ஸோ இல்ல வந்து ஹாஸ்பிட்டல் அதெல்லாம் பாத்தீங்கன்னா சங்கனை வந்து பெரிய சங்கனை சங்கனை ஓகேங்களா. அதுல வந்து நடுவில் வந்து பார்ட்டிஷன் பண்ணுவாங்க. அதுல வந்து பார்ட்டிஷன் வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா ஆர்சிசியோ இல்ல பிக்கோஸ் அந்த மாதிரி இருக்காது, போர்டு இருக்கும். ஸோ அதுல வந்து எப்படி வாட்டர் ப்ரூஃபிங் பண்றது, அதுல வந்து இந்த 2 காம்பனன்ட் சிமெண்ட் கோட்டிங் வந்து பண்ண முடியாது. அது வந்து லிக்விட். அதுக்கு வந்து ஸ்பெஷல் டைப் ஆஃப் ப்ராடக்ட் வந்து அதுதான் வந்து ஆர்டைப். அது வந்து நீங்க வந்து சிங்கிள் காம்பனன்ட் டைரக்டா மேலே அப்ளை பண்ணா, போர்லயே அப்ளை பண்ணா, டைல் அடிசி வச்சுட்டு டைரக்டா டைல் போட்டீங்க. ஸோ தட் இஸ் அட்வான்டேஜ் ஆஃப் தட் மெத்தட். ஸோ there are products are available for all type of functions. அதுதான்
இந்த ப்ராடக்ட் வந்து இப்போ நம்ம NBCஸ்ல அப்ரூவ்ட் இருக்கா? Because we are doing Maldives project. Here we cannot do CPWD, but Maldives NBC which approved, we can take it. That is the
product. Typically, this is a driver section. Typically, this is the driver section. So these sections requires a movement. यहाँ पे why that 3 MPa tensile strength he has mentioned, you have to understand that first, because this system will require a movement. Okay, in cementitious, when you are doing on a concrete, internally there is no movement. So that is why the vertical, so that's why the piece and everything has been given. So that strength is there. So we'll discuss in details how the whole designing part. Right? So both the models are here for you. We'll explain on that.
So it will look like a single component polymer coating, co-polymer coating. Features and features. The low VOC, fast curing, flexible, seamless coating, and elongation and high elongation. And drag width will be 2 mm. Whereas in other cementitious coating, it will be only 1 mm. Here 2 mm drag width. And directly you can apply. Directly you can lay your files also. No need of click. That's something. So methods are going to
brain time.
tiles வந்து அது மாதிரி extra acid தேவை.
டைலர்ஸ் போட்டு ஒட்டிக்கலாம்.
பிரைமரி மார்க்
வாட்டர் ப்ரூஃபிங் லேயர் சார். வாட்டர் ப்ரூஃபிங் லேயர் மேல நீங்க டைலர்ஸ் போட்டு கரெக்டா ஒட்டிக்கலாம்.
எவ்வளவு கன்ட்ரோல் பண்ணிக்கலாம். 10 lakhs அப்புறம் எவ்வளவு கன்ட்ரோல் பண்ணிக்கலாம்.
DFI certification. This is very important. Central Food Testing Research Institute, Mysore. DFI certificate also. And it says green products. It's a low usage green products. That is. This detail discuss after. This is the complete detailing. We'll break for it. Start. Stop. So this is typical cross section of the pipe waterproofing. So first this will be wall packing. Wall packing here, and this is for water heater and arena. Then we will like that. Two components simultaneous waterproofing coating. Horizontal and vertical. 1 meter. And from the upper top, 300 mm. And if it is a special 7 feet height also. And protecting faster, then filling with prepared or cinder filling. Then plaster, then tile adhesive and tile joints with ground of epoxy. So this is typical cross section of the toilet water. Okay.
கிளீன் பண்ண சுத்தியோ ஏதோ கிளீன் பண்ண போறோம் அப்படியே மேல வந்து டைல்ஸ் போடாம நாங்க வந்து சீடு போறோம்
So இதான் வந்து கம்ப்ளீட்டா டாய்லெட் வாட்டர் ப்ரூஃபிங் சிஸ்டம். இது வந்து சங்கன் ஸ்லாப். There will be sunken slab. மாடல்ல பாத்தீங்கன்னா சங்கன் ஸ்லாப் தான் வராது. There will not be any sunken. Only 50 mm. In that you cannot do the filling. Only directly tile fixing. For tile fixing you have to use a tile adhesive. Tile adhesive will be 3 mm, 5 mm. Tile adhesive will apply. Then you can fix the tiles. And tile joints with ground. Very very important thing is that tiles should not be paper joints. There should be gap, 3 mm gap. Then it should be filled with epoxy ground. Then only plus in tiles, toilets we used to do acid washing. So the epoxy is the very correct product for the tile joints. And this plating will be provided here. We have to take this all around the fittings. That area also very important because water will go inside. It may pass into the sides. So we have to take that very important. Polymer, the epoxy is around cut from that. And if you engage that thing, there should not be any gap in the fittings on the joints. Because this area, there will not be any leaking. Water should not enter to the sun. So this is typical system for the sunken slab water. And non-sunken also for non-sunken we can use our single component water. Instead of two components simultaneous putting, single component putting can use. So this is drywall partition. For the commercial buildings, hospitals, commercial buildings, drywall partition will be there. Modern technology, people use plywood. Then we get to fiber cement board and gypsum board. Now the latest technology is sodium silicate boards. So here you cannot use the cementitious waterproofing board. Why? Because there will be liquid and powder. Both you have to mix together. Apply. What we will do? You have to apply on the board. If you apply liquid on the board will collapse. So you cannot apply this liquid-based cementitious coating. For that, we require special type of coating. That is, in our system, that is R-type. Now the technology is precast construction, nylon construction, and drywall construction. So there will be panels. Okay, the panels there will be gap, 5 mm gap will be there. The cementitious coating, as I told, the cementitious coating crack bridging ability will be only 1 mm thickness. That coating may not be possible for this type of structures, precast structures, board structures. So the product, the system should be good enough to take care of the elongation. So we give our R-type. R-type is having more than 350% elongation. That will take care of the movement accommodation in the joints. So panel structures. Here this entire structure will be panel, precast structure made of that. So what we do? First we will apply the polyurethane sealants in the joints. All the joints will take care. Before that, during the construction activity itself, the contractor, the pre-cast contractor, they will do the notching ground. They will fill all the gaps. The only surface area gaps will be that we will do the polyurethane sealant fill. Then we will apply this single component waterproofing coating. Then directly you can fix your tiles with tile adhesives. That's the technology. Very simple, very fast, and very effective. This is ideal for the my-one structure, drive-on structure, and pre-cast structure. So everything clear regarding wet area, toilet, sunken waterproofing. Any doubts?
Yeah, you have to tell that the side wall, if it's brickwork, what is the methodology? If it is RCC wall, RCC wall.
RCC wall?
Bathroom la patti the beam RCC. For example, you told residential building all side beam will be there. If it is the sunken beam, if commercial, there is a lot of bathroom will be there. So in between the partition will be there. Brick wall partition. In that, what type of waterproofing? What is the methodology?
The same type of waterproofing can be adopted in the same partition, brick wall partition. But we have to take a little bit gap in the junction between your partition wall and the floor. Because as I told, we have to apply the polymer mortar and the water. Now technology water is written. Anching. Okay. That partition brickwork will be there in the between. In the wall floor junction, we have to apply the water, the same polymer mortar. Extra fiber mesh we have to provide. Again, 2 more coats we have to provide in the junction between both the sides.
There is only for particular
particular
partitions.
Particular partition.
And that is also raised up from FFL 300 mm.
All above FFL 300 mm above FFL. That is very important.
Fiber mesh
Before doing your brickwork, you have to apply this waterproofing coating on the mother slab.
Okay.
After that only you have to do your brickwork wall. That also very important. Some people what will they do? They will construct the brickwork without doing waterproofing. What will do? The water will go into the brickwork, it will penetrate and it will pass into the slab directly because there will not be any layer. Understood?
If it is a continuous waterproofing, you have to do first waterproofing, then you have to do partition.
So it is always advisable to do waterproofing on the mother slab entire area. Suppose the sunken slab is very large, you have to apply the waterproofing entire area. Then only you have to lay your brickwork. That is good practice.
Cement and liquid இல்லாம இன்னொரு மெட்டீரியல் பார்ட்டிஷன் வால்ஸ். ஆமா, அது என்ன மெட்டீரியல்?
அது வந்து கோபாலிமர், அது வந்து கோபாலிமர் டெக்னாலஜி. ஆக்சுவலா வந்து லிக்விட் ஃபார்ம்ல தான் இருக்கும். ஆனா இது மாதிரி லிக்விட்ல வராது, அது பேஸ்ட் ஃபார்ம்ல கொஞ்சம் இதுவா இருக்கும். அது வந்து பாலிமர், திக் பாலிமர் இருக்கும். அது உங்க சாம்பிள் காட்டுறாங்க பார்க்கலாம்.
இந்த பவுடர்
லிக்விட் ரெண்டும் வராது.
அது வந்து டைரக்டா
ஒரு ரப்பர் மாதிரி மெட்டீரியல். இது வந்து எதுக்காகன்னா இப்போ இந்த பாலிமர் வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா ஜிப்சம் போர்ட்ல இஃப் யூ அப்ளை திஸ், நான் கொஞ்சம் பேர் பெங்களூர்ல இருக்கிறேன், அதனால இங்கிலீஷ்ல பேசுறேன். So what will do this? Apply this polymer on the gypsum board. The gypsum will absorb. Okay, the gypsum will absorb this type of liquid. Over the period, it will deteriorate life. So that you need special type of coating which the gypsum board cannot absorb. So we are applying special type of products for the gypsum boards. So next is tanks. Tanks is UGT, underground tanks, overhead tanks. There are various types of tanks used to construct. Suppose in our house, individual house, we used to construct some, isn't it? So for the brickwork construction for individual house, there will be different types of layers. Suppose for commercial building, the construction methodology, that we have different type of product. Suppose if you want any waterproofing treatment for your house, you are constructing here some with brickwork. So what type of products should be applied? We always advise you construct a RCC tanks, not brickwork. Okay. Because brickwork force will be there. There will be chances of leakage. And it is very difficult to attend the brickwork leakages. Generally, we don't take any type of waterproofing treatment for the brickwork construction, even if it is underground construction or over a tank. If it is a RCC tank, we can arrest any type of leakages. Even the water is coming like a fountain, we can arrest. It is coming profusely from the wall over a tank, we can arrest. Any type of leakages, we can arrest. But if it is a brickwork, we cannot arrest. 95% it is very, very difficult to arrest the leakage in the brickwork construction, brickwork sump. So we always prefer RCC tank for the any type of tank. That's what I meant. So we want to upgrade the system for the engineering practice. A normal practice is brickwork only. What people will tell, we construct resource mining the brickwork, now it is leaking, water will pour, water is under, water is gone away. People will come and you arrest. It is very difficult to arrest. Okay. That's why we want to give always construction RCC pump. If it's RCC pump, it's 150 mm or 100 mm thick. You can have any type of. Yes. Suppose if the leakage is there, what will the practice? What will do? Will inject the cement slag, we drill the wall. If we drill the wall, cracks will be more. If we give the pressure, the crack will widen. The brickwork will collapse. Cannot withstand that pressure which we cannot. That's why we always
brickwork la panna mudiyadhu. Brickwork will cannot do. In RCC only we have to do the grouting. Brickwork will not withstand your pressure growth.
That's one technology. So suppose if your house is sump is leaking, how to arrest the leakages in the sump? We suggesting 2 layers of plaster. First you remove the existing plaster. The internal use plaster with integral water. First you completely plaster. Then you apply 2 components, cementitious coating, 2 coats. Then again 1 more layer you apply. This will give you result for 90 to 95. Any type of will arrest 90 to 95%. 100% you cannot give any guarantee. So this is for the underground sump. Now it is a RCC structure. Suppose if it is a RCC structure, how to do the waterproofing for the RCC UGP underground structure? What are all the technical parameters we have to consider while collecting the waterproofing product for the RCC UGP underground tanks? Bonding. Material should bond to the substrate and should form a water barrier. Okay. The system should be completely water tank. Tank in tank system used to call. There will be a tank you will construct. We are going to use 1 more tank with coating system so that your water cannot go away. And this is to hydrostatic pressure. So if you pour the water in the sump, okay, sump what we small sump. Suppose large sump, this is called GLSR, ground level storage reservoirs. Large tank will be that 200 feet. 20 feet height, large tank will be there. There water pressure will be very high. Once you apply the coating system, this coating system should withstand the water pressure. Otherwise, what will happen? The barrier which we are giving, it will give away, it will tear away. So it should withstand the water pressure. So you have to select the correct waterproofing material to withstand the water pressure also. And this is two important thing for the drinking potable water. CFTRI certified. Central Food Technology Research Institute, Mysore. The product should have the certification from CFTRI. And it should be antimicrobial, antifungal property. After applying your coating, you will pour the water. There should not be any fungal or algae. It should have the resistance to antifungal. So these are the general technical parameters by selecting the correct waterproofing product for the tanks.
Normally, Dr. Which project you are suggesting for this?
UG tank, we have different type of there are different type of systems products are available. Generally, cementitious coating systems. Instead of 2 coats, we suggest 3 coats. Then the top surface will have antifungal, anti-algae design coating system. Additional extra. That is product name is Damn. So this is physical system. So for the tank inside, in any substructure waterproofing, we have to do waterproofing both the sides. Inside also we have to do, external side also we have to do. Why? Student, please. எதுக்காக ரெண்டு பக்கமும் பண்ணோம் waterproofing? ஒரு பக்கம் மட்டும் பண்ணா போதுமா? அதுன்னு சொல்லுங்க.
Soil uprising water table level.
Water table level.
அதுல இருந்து வர water
pressure.
வாட்டர் டேபிள் லெவல்ல இருந்து இன்க்ரீஸ் ஆகுது. வாட்டர் கிரவுண்ட்ல இருந்து அந்த வாட்டரையுமே ரெசிஸ்ட் பண்றதுக்காக அவுட்டர்ல
ஏன்னா உள்ள ஊத்துற தண்ணி வெளிய போயிட கூடாது.
வெளியில இருக்க தண்ணி உள்ள.
So any UG tank, underground tank, you have to do both the sides water. Inside also we do, different side also. So what type of systems or products are available? So first we will do the PCC. After excavation, you will get a PCC. Then there will be a membrane system. There are different types of systems are available. Cementitious coating are available. SKS system, steaming membrane. Various systems are available. Depend upon the size of the structure. Suppose small 5 feet by 10 feet, you can lay this cementitious coating system. Suppose the structure is very length, very long, 100 meters. Then we can go with the membrane system. The membrane thickness also will vary. 1.5, 2 mm, 3 mm, 5 mm, it will vary. Just it should take care of the entire load, entire pressure. Water pressure will be very high from the bottom. The bottom water pressure will be there. And the side also water pressure will be there. So the system, the material which you are selecting, it should withstand the complete water pressure. So we have to choose the correct product, correct system, depend upon the size of your structure. Okay. This is one type of waterproofing product which can be laid on the substructure product. This underground tank. First, we will discussion. We lay the fitness product. Type of waterproofing membrane. There are various types of once we apply, that is form your membrane. That is LAM, liquid applied membrane. This is preformed membrane. Preformed membrane means, as a manufacturer, we will manufacture material in the factory itself in size 1 meter width, 20 meter length, or 10 meter length, 1.5 mm thick, or 2 mm thick, or 3 mm thick, or 4 mm thick, like that. Manufacturers will manufacture this type of membrane in the factory itself. This is preformed membrane. This membrane we will lay on the pieces. This is self-adhesive membrane, 1.5 mm thickness, and the width will be 1 meter, and length will be 10 meter. 1 by 10, 10 square meter one membrane. This is not the and top with the STP. It is very high puncture resistant and chemical resistant, tear resistant. It's a very easy application. Releasing filling will be there, like a sticker. You have to just remove your sticker, just paste it.
Yesterday we saw that the same thing, for foundation, same product.
So this is one type of system. You can apply. That is separation layer over this. Over that only you have to do the crack down. So after constructing the retaining walls, these joints, starter joints, this is first construction. So these joints are yes, first punch. All and four junction. Proper four. This comes in the surface preparation. By constructing your retaining wall, there will be a lot of tie rod supports will be there. Here, a lot of tie rod will be there. And joints also will be there. All those joints, tie rods, be taken care properly. And all four junctions. And any honeycombs is there. Any force is there. That we have to do properly. The surface preparation itself. After completing all the surface preparation, waterproofing. before doing the backfilling, we will give one more SDP membrane, that is dimple coat. 8 mm thick dimple coat. Why? To protect this waterproofing membrane. Because while filling the backfilling, there will be so many solings, boulders, or reinforcement, some sharp edges, something like that. That may damage the waterproofing membrane. To protect that, we used to give the protection board, 8 mm. And the end is termination point. The top we do the aluminum sheet termination. Right? Because this membrane, this layer is made built up to protect that. You have to do the termination. Will angle it, fill it with aluminum cashier. Will do the termination. Then up we seal it properly. Let us see. This is one more material. That is bituminous based self-adhesive material. That is sampling. That is coming a 1.5 m thickness, 1 meter width, and a 10 thickness. One more question is material, different material. That is STP.
Yeah.
Okay. This is for the UGP, underground tanks. Now we will come to overhead tanks. This capacity is so lot of
UGP we are not casting that wall in single shot. The total height. They are doing that layer by layer.
yes,
So first lift, second lift. In between the first lift to second lift, anything joint, what is anything? You can cast as it is, or you have to do some bonding material in between.
we have to take the construction plans.
Construction, what is
Water bar during the construction. Another way is to do the concession banks with the glue cutting and polymer contact and injection coating. You have to take care of the concession bank.
after casting the wall, you have to do.
After casting,
During the casting, you have to do water bar.
Only water bar.
Water bar for the first layer. In the every layer of construction.
first layer, second layer.
அது வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா பாண்டிங் இருக்கும். லைக் எக்ஸிஸ்டிங் கான்கிரீட் புது கான்கிரீட் ஃப்ரெஷ் கான்கிரீட் எபாக்சி பாண்டிங் ஏஜென்ட் நம்ம கிட்ட எபாக்சி பாண்டிங் ஏஜென்ட் அது வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா ஒரு பழைய கான்கிரீட் புது கான்கிரீட் பாண்டிங் பர்பஸ்க்காக வந்து ஜஸ்ட் அது வந்து லைக் அப்ளை பண்ணிட்டு மேல கான்கிரீட் போர் பண்ணுவாங்க. நார்மல் மேல நீங்க ஆர்ஜிசி போடும்போது இப்ப டெரஸ்ல ஸ்லாப் கான்கிரீட் போட்டீங்கன்னா ஒரு பெரிய ஸ்டாண்ட் இருக்கும்போது ஒரு கான்கிரீட் நாளைக்கு மட்டும் இன்னொரு கான்கிரீட் போடுவீங்க கான்கிரீட் அப்போதான் அந்த இடத்துல பாண்டிங் இருக்கும். So அதனால நீங்க இது 45
we are not talking about
so you are asking about
see my tag see my UGT height will be around 10 feet. I can't construct a single shot in 10 feet height. I will do in every 1.5 meters. So then in that case, whether I can do cast the second lift as it is or you have to make some waterproofing because the joint will be there. What is the precaution I have to take for this? Like retaining wall we have to do like what about
after completing during the construction waterproofing. After completing everything, after checking over, then we have to complete the construction. So both the system during the construction and after.
same will applicable to OST also.
Yes.
OST.
Yes. So this is the critical for the overhead size. Entire area. And the production cost and the site of water-based epoxy coating. CFTR is certified water-based epoxy coating. That can build your product. And the external side, acrylic coating, right? That coating and application. So that your OSP product. Protection. That SUV conducted sewage water. The sewage water will damage the concrete structure. So the chemical is right on the surface. So that the water contaminated sewage water contact will protect. So next water body is swimming pools. So how to there are two types of swimming pools are available. One is ground level swimming pool. Another one is elevated swimming pool. Nowadays people are on the terrace. We got to the ECR road. Lot of workers, villas, swimming pools on the terrace. And hotels, star hotels. This is swimming pool on the 7th floor or 8th floor. All of them like that. So how to do that? It is very, very important and very critical. These are the design points. Design considerations. Concrete makes design is very important. And protection and structures. These are options because a lot of options will be there. You have to make it so you have to select the correct. You have to select the correct product, correct systems, and very, very important is the application. Application is very critical and very important for doing the swimming pool water. So design consideration all remains same. So this is the typical section. So first we have to see whether in the ground level or the elevator level. If it is at elevator level, different type of products we have to give. If it is ground level, we have to give only our food component simulations for first time. Suppose it is the elevated level, the risk is very high. So we have to go with a very high end system. For the then you have to apply the spray applied high tensile, high elongation, spray applied polyurea coating systems on the elevated level. This normal ground level or first floor level can go with the simultaneous. It is a high-end system, high-end commercial building. For the high-end system. So the typical solution, same primer, just this contact, jet X-ray, and the lab, this lab, then returning one. External system one. The internal, instead of 2 coats, we will apply 3 coats of simulation protection class class. Then protection class class. Then tile adhesive, special tile adhesive, or tile glove. Same epoxy tile glove. Any doubt, please.
Swimming pools need a high-performance waterproofing system on both internal and external sides. Sand Shield is a bitumen-based, self-adhesive polymer-modified membrane, which provides excellent waterproofing protection to the external side in pools constructed below ground level. It can take thermal and structural stresses effectively, without any fatigue, thus providing a long-life solution. Sand Shield has high tensile strength, tear resistance, and puncture resistance. This makes it highly durable. It comes in thickness of 1.6 millimeters and 2.1 millimeters. Being self-adhesive, it is easily applied without torching over a primed surface. Lay 1 layer of Sand Shield membrane on the primed surface of the blinding concrete. Cover with a protective geotextile fabric and lay a screen. After building the raft slab and the retaining walls, fix 1 layer of Sand Shield membrane on the external side of the retaining wall. For internal side waterproofing of the swimming pool, Dr. Fixit Fast Flex is the ideal partner to Sand Shield. Fast Flex is a higher performance cementitious polymer waterproof coating. It has excellent adhesion to cementitious substrates with a peel adhesion to concrete of over 1 megapascal. It is highly flexible and gives a seamless treatment with a high film thickness of around 1.5 millimeter in 3 coats, giving longer life of the coating. Fast Flex is highly elastomer and can stretch up to 150%. Therefore, it can easily accommodate the dynamic movements of large water bodies. Fast Flex can be used on positive side of water pressure, even up to a 10-meter water head. Pressure apply Dr. Fixit Fast Flex in 3 coats on the substrate. Sprinkle coarse sand on the 3rd coat while it is still wet to provide key for subsequent work. Protect it with a screen. Then carry out tiling as usual. For further information, please contact the Dr. Fixit Advice Center.
How do you find out the subject of the test? All the chemicals. For any subject, suppose I have second class post-mortem test we have conducted. After application of this protein, we have to do the post-mortem for the application. Find out during the application, or after the application. Usually we can find out subject. So how we can find out subject?
So it is basically coverage. There will be a technical data sheet for every product. Based on the product or methodology given by the company, we can ensure. For example, any cementitious construction, if we have given 1.5 kg per square meter, we should ensure that 1.5 kg has been applied. Maybe over 30 square meter, based on 30 square meter, this much material is being used to which page.
Asking about like don't just get to be done.
Actual tests are different. Maybe for membranes it will be இதுல வந்து adhesion test நம்ம வந்து செக் பண்ணலாம். பட் இங்க பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் நமக்கு வந்து இதுல வந்து as per consumption it has been properly applied on பண்ணலாம். சில இடத்துல we will just take the DFT dry film thickness check பண்ணுவோம். Dry film thickness நீங்க check பண்ணாலும் we have to take it on average. But basically what we tell, because our flows are not leveled, either it is terrace or internal bathroom, it is not leveled. A lot of slight undulations will be there. So if you calculate consumption, it will be good. ஏன்னா திக்னஸ் கூட கொஞ்சம் வேரி ஆகும். ஏன்னா எந்த இடத்துல பல்ல அதிகமா இருக்கும், மெட்டீரியல் கொஞ்சம் போய் அதிகம் உட்காரும், இதாகும். அதனால based on the consumption, you can ensure that work has been done properly. Sorry. Okay. இல்ல அதுக்கு வந்து expired is expired. What he is asking is if they have expired material, how it can be disposed in category. இல்ல dump it outside la, there is procedure for everything. Actually we have to go as per the environmental norms. இப்போ மெட்டீரியல் யூஸ் பண்றதுக்கு இதுக்கு எல்லாமே வந்து மெட்டீரியல் சேஃப்டி டேட்டா ஷீட் இருக்கு. இப்போ இந்த பாலிமர்லாம் குடிச்ச கேஸ்லாம் இருக்கு. குடிச்சது மீன்ஸ் என்னன்னா சைட்ல தப்பா ஏதோ இது பண்ணும்போது இது பண்ணிருக்காங்கன்னு சொல்லிட்டு அந்த மாதிரிலாம் இருக்கு. அதனால எல்லாத்துக்குமே ஒரு ப்ரொசீஜர் இருக்கு. We can go with MSDS and whatever the environmental things say for proper disposal of materials, அதை we need to follow. இப்போ பேரல்னா பேரல் இங்கே தான் போடணும், டெப்ரிஸ் எல்லா இடத்தையும் கொட்ட முடியாது. அது நம்மளுக்கு ரெகுலரா நம்மளுக்கு ப்ராக்டிஸ் இருக்கு. இங்கே தான் போய் கொட்டணும், இவங்க தான் கால் பண்ணணும்னா based on that environmental follow-ups within the state, நம்ம ஸ்டேட்ல என்ன சொல்றாங்களோ அது பிரகாரம் we have to dispose them. Any waterproofing material we have to store inside only, inside store. Externally it's not advisable. Actually உள்ள கொடுக்குற கோட்டிங் வந்து உங்களுக்கு whatever the waterproofing coating given inside to protect the water coming from inside ல இருந்து இதா இருக்கு. very external ல நார்மலா நம்ம பிளாஸ்டிக் இதெல்லாம் பண்ணும்போது there is a chance of leakage, cracks and other. So to avoid that we are given an external coating on the rain coating.
இப்போ நம்ம இதுல sunken line just as told, in sunken area RCC wall you are directly mother slab you are your symmetry system. In brick wall what you have to do, you have to do plaster.
Yes, brick wall actually வந்து brick wall வந்து slender plastic you can do. Slender plastic you can do, like 8 mm slender plastic you can do. Or else normally what we used to do in brick wall வந்து cement, sand, mortar, light up cement, sand, polymer apply பண்ணி you have to give like a putty பண்ணிட்டு மேல water proofing. Direct brick wall we should not apply any water proofing. Either you can give a slender plastic or you can do like this, and after that you can apply waterproofing coating and then you can plaster.
In the slender plastic we have to do waterproofing adhesive you have to add.
No, you can add
normal cement plaster is okay for that, or you have to add that LW plus.
Sorry, LW plus or any integral waterproofing compound or any type of plastering. Better you add, it will be better for finishing. The purpose of adding the integral waterproofing compound is it will extend the finishing time actually. Workability. The proper workability will be there. For that purpose only we are adding this material. Because we have variety of this thing, sand, P sand, M sand, plus river sand, எல்லாமே இருக்கு. அது நம்ம நார்மல் இன்னொரு ஒரு மெயின் இது என்னன்னா வாட்டர்லயே மிக்ஸ் பண்ணி அடிக்கலாம். அட்மிக்சர்ஸ் நார்மலா கெமிக்கல் அட்மிக்சர்ஸ் நம்ம வந்து why purpose to give is to reduce the water actually. அதுல டிஃபரெண்ட் இது இருக்கு. இது ஒன் டைப் ஆஃப் வாட்டர் ரெடியூசர் தான்.
Whether it is need or not,
it is needed.
Yeah. If it is, because the cost matter is coming now, that's why I'm telling you. If I do the cement plaster directly, that cost is okay for me. If it's okay, then I can. No, not required. You have to do with that waterproofing component.
Just rendering is required.
Rendering, my question is rendering, you have to add this your waterproofing chemical, or without that I can do it.
Required.
So it is like a filling. So the filling. Filling is like a tendering filling பண்ணிட்டு தான் போட்டி வைக்கணும். டைரக்ட் ரிக்வயர்ட் அடிக்க முடியாது.
I'm not talking about that. In that plastic itself, whether I have to add this waterproofing compound, I have to add or not.
Required.
பிஃபோர்ல நம்ம பிளாஸ்டிக் பண்ணிட்டு டைரக்டா அந்த பாஸ்பிளஸ் அக்ரெசிவ் அதெல்லாம் ஆட் பண்ண முடியாது.
பாஸ்பிளக்ஸ் வந்து ஆட் பண்றது கிடையாது சார். அது வந்து கோட்டிங் அப்ளை பண்றது.
கோட்டிங் அப்ளை பண்ண முடியாது. பிஃபோர்ல நார்மல் பிளாஸ்டிக் பண்ணுவோம். அதுக்கப்புறம் பாஸ்பிளஸ் அப்ளை பண்ணுவோம்.
basically வந்து water flow நமக்கு வந்து overhead tank. இந்த system நீங்க follow பண்ணீங்கன்னா leakage
Suppose if the leakage is okay, due to workmanship, so much of issues. Leakage will after. What is the remedial? What is
We are
remedial?
coming to this remedial session now.
Now you only use start. Okay. Now you told only procedures. Okay.
So what are the procedures we have to take? Now cover.
Okay.
Suppose if it is failed, so what are the predictions? Yes, sir. What is failing? That's the
Okay.
so clear solution for always prevention is
Want to take 5 minutes break? Or should we continue? Should continue, right? Well, Swaminathan has told me to continue, then I have no option but to. So all are back? Yes. So I think so we have done a good session right now with the weight areas, water tanks and other things, right? Yesterday we learned about the basements, how to do the new construction. Then today we have done the weight areas, water tanks. I think Ashuputi has done a very good job because he has explained you everything with the audio visual. Excellent. Okay. So now there are a lot of questions in here. There's a problem. That has already started that what to do a remedial. I mean, now leakage has already started, what to do? So nothing to do. So we have to do something, right? So solution is very important because whenever at what stage we are, we need to have a solution, right? So we'll see how can we do best because any construction, whenever you have to do remedial, especially in cases where I cannot reach or we cannot reach to the positive side, which is always a challenge. So that is why when we think of something called repair, we have to be very strategic approach. Our approach should be very strategic. Otherwise, if we go and jump into, then we can't do. In a new construction, it is easier because it's a construction I'm going to do. I have a proper design, detailing, everything, specs, specifications, everything with us, and I have to go with that. But in case of repair, already an existing structure is there. Now in basements and substructures, problem is I cannot go to the side where from the water is coming. In bathrooms and wet areas, my customer do not want to break his fittings. Okay, because he might be putting the Jaguar fittings and all these fittings, and if you ask him to break open that, no sir, sorry. So this is all problems happen. And also Ashuputi has told that the problem is not with the person. In the multi-story building, the problem which is the basement bathroom problem. The problem may be with someone, but sufferer is someone else. Okay, because he is staying downstairs, the sufferer is him. He is not actually facing any problem. So there can be several cases, right? So we have to be very approach has to be very clear. So whenever we are going to the repairs, our process approach has to be very clear. So So first things we have to again understand what has happened. As we always say, any repair, the first things is the RCA, root cause analysis. Okay, the RCA has to be right. Until and unless your RCA is right, you cannot do the research. Okay, that's the first thing. Second thing, for the RCA, I have to know what condition assessment processes I have to do. How the way I should check it out. What areas, what processes, which can be. There are several kinds of processes. Visual observation, destructive test, non-destructive test, but I should understand what to do, where to do what. Okay. Then selection of the right repair system. Now you are doing a system which is structural. It is very, very important. In the structural member, when I am going for a repair, I have to be very, and there the people are already staying. So I have to be very cautious that how I should do. Because if I'm going for a foundation or substructures area, which is one of the main part of my structure. So if I have to do something, I have to always take care of that part. So the selection of systems has to be understood. And then methodology, execution. Ultimately, execution is very important. So this will be our process approach for the repair. Am I right? Is it clear? Right. Now, what should we do in the first case? Suppose the distresses what happened in basements normally. So I will talk about that. These are the glimpses of the problem because we have different kinds of problems. What we see yesterday, we have discussed a lot. We have seen a problem because when we have already casted a basement that without considering or maybe with considering all the water table risk and everything what we have discussed, but there can be chances that water can penetrate. And as I told you yesterday also, where from the water can penetrate, there are three areas. One is from the floor level, one is from the wall floor joints, third one through the construction joints. These are the three sections from where, because we have to minimize. Na? Whenever you are going for a cause analysis, I have to really come to a conclusion that where from I could where. Because if I go abruptly, I cannot check it. Okay, I have to go very slow. Okay, when I am going to a box, so where my areas, one is from down, one from corner, one from the construction joint. These are the three places the problems can happen. And the problem manifests in different ways. You can see here, the water is complete. Whole places the water is. Some areas in the house, residential buildings, you all the problem faced on the efflorescence kinds of a problem. I think everybody knows about efflorescence, right? Which is a related problem with the water, right? If it is a brick structure, masonry structure, the salts inside the bricks that comes out with the water and then get a problem. And that is a critical problem inside the houses. Dampness can add with the corners and areas. You can have the leakages, the water is coming out, all those sorts of problems, which is very common into the basement. The basement problem also arises because of the facilities which is on the top. Now, in the tower segments, I have seen yesterday, we have seen that there is a podium above, which is having the multiple facilities on the top, and below there is a basement. Okay, so the facilities which can be plantations, there can be water pools, there can be trackways, there can be anything. Different kind of facilities and functional things are over there, and which ultimately causing the problem in a different surface area, that is the basement. Right? So, several issues can be there, and their manifestations will be different. Right? Now, let us understand how podium facilities affect. Let us go from there first. Okay. So, podium facilities, what you have the first and foremost where the areas, the foot traffic movements or the traffic movements take place, there will be definitely a traffic movement where there will be there. Open cross sections will be having the weathering effect, right? Then you have the water bodies. Then you have the plantations areas. These problems are already there. That as Ashwati was telling about how much is the force on the surface area is coming because of the water bodies, and it is hanging, right? That is why while you are telling about that overhead swimming pool, the tensile strength of the coating is very, very important, and when it is in a hanging condition. So once if your coatings is not proper or there is a leakage, okay, and because of the water bodies there is a pressure, okay, and it has to take care of it, right? So that is there. Then you have how much is the soil bed. Now depending on it can be a plantations, it can be normal grass lawns, okay, and when there is a plantations, there can be soil bed, can be any height depending on the kind of trees you are going to put. There will be a root penetration through that, And that root, if you are not taken care of a proper root barrier, and again that root will penetrate into your structure, again there will be a leakage. There are so many. I will show you how to happen. Then level variations due to various amenities. Now again you have, it is not in all in same level. You have down, you have up, you have something up. So every intersection, every transition will have another problem added. I try to understand one surface below where I'm standing, but above that there are a lot of things over there, okay, which are causing me a problem. And then, of course, this is a critical issue. That is it's a large span. And large span will have the movement to it. And there will be a lot of expansion, joint, construction joints already there in the structures on my top slab. Okay, which are all potential threats. All potential threats to my structure. Suppose I am seeing a leakage here. It leakage, the cause may be there. Okay, I want to find out something that is a leakage happening. I want on the top. Actually, everything is dry over there. It may be coming from there, percolating through the whole structure, ultimately falling from another area. So that is why root cause analysis is very, very important to understand that. Now let us understand how actually podium facilities affect the basement. What happens in basement? This is the slab, right? The slab, with the time, with the environmental issues, it got cracked. Okay, and if we do not take care of the right time, if we do not see it on the right time, it will slowly try to expand it. And as we try to expand, it will move, expand. There can be the cracks will generate, bigger cracks will generate, and when there will be rainfall, we will get the water. Very simple understanding. The water will go. Okay, this is one part. Second part is your water bodies. Water bodies are present, which is having the different water heights, head pressures, and there are a lot of fixtures. That is one important. I think Ashwati has also told. Again, I am mentioning you in swimming pool. Other than the water, you have a lot of other fixtures. So that you can have a light fixtures. You have the your filter units. You have the plumbing areas. Lot of other fixtures which are there. Okay, and those electrical, every electrical units which you have put, these are their joints are again potential. Okay, because you are not having a monolithic, and you are not having anything monolithic over there, right? Next, coming to your planters landscapes. Okay, you can see here you have different kind of a soil bed pressure, different soil bed pressure, different heights into that. Overall, the coatings are slabs which is having the different levels. Now, these areas again you have expansion joints. Okay, you have the expansion joint. There will be movements continuously. If you do not take care of the expansion joint rightly, okay, with the right material, right treatment properly, and taking the expansion joints, what's happened with time, because of the wear and tear, that sealant goes there. We go for a sealant normally, but because of the wear and tear, the sealant goes off. Okay, and the sealant goes off, sealant get teared off, that will be the easily water can fill, right? And finally the vehicular movement. So all these functional facilities are already giving a lot of different troubles. Okay. And which ultimately the movements we have already talked about. Okay. And these problems are quite common in any residential multi-tower buildings. You can see these kind of things. All these pipelines, you can see this is the water is coming from the wing level, water is coming from the joints, how it is affecting everywhere, and also you can see how is the leaching is taking place, how is the way this is happening. Okay, again there is a leakage is here, and there is a corrosion has already happened. You can see the brown color here. Okay, so multiple level problems which we have seen earlier. The basement which was coming from the tree, only basement coming from the tree, floor, corner, wall. Now this is also from the tree. It's added, right? So all these problems are there in the basement area. Now, what to do? Now, as we have reached into a site, what to do first? We are all doing this. Can anybody add me? What to do? Who will start, sir? Now, you have reached to the basement. All these problems are there. Make it simple that water is coming from the top. It is dripping. Now, what to do first?
How to find out where it is coming?
Yes, which is there is no road that I will go this way and I will find it out. What's the steps to follow? What's the steps to follow? Anybody from the student side? Anybody? Okay. like that, all over the corner. First of all, you have to locate and visual observation is where from it is happening. That should be first thing. Okay? Where from it is happening. So you have to first get a checklist and understand where the actual problems are there. And is there any other effects in the outside? If it is on the roof, right? If it is in the roof or anywhere. Okay? So actual location of the problem. Am I right? Location of the problem. Next. Source. Source to you have to find out now. Process, path up for going to source. Source to ultimately, that if you have got everything is solved. Total waterproofing cost of 1 lakh can be solved in 10 rupees. There is only a plumbing line, joint is open. If I can do that, my 1 lakh rupees can be saved. How? Anybody? Sir? Any actions, whatever.
Sir, once you located that problems identification, you have to go for a chipping and do that to inject routing. That is
But inject grouting at wet location will not help you out. If it is leaking, I can go for some grouting. Before grouting, I have to see that sourcing. Because grouting is not I will talk about grouting, but grouting may not be always a solution. Because if you grout there, tomorrow the source is not taken care, will come here, will come from. I will stop there. The source is still there, na? Source is always there. Until I have gone to the source, it will grout here, negative side, I will put some grout, I will finish it off there, and again tomorrow one fine morning it will start. So what I have to go some? It has a gravity. If it is coming from the top, it is already in, now it has to go and do out somewhere. It will always find out his own ways. Anybody, any else? Where is it?
Next section, where it is from it.
Where it is. So the root cause. Absolutely. So if I have to finalize it is nothing into it. It's basically a logical thinking. It's a basically logical thinking. Suppose I'm getting a leakage there. What can be the probable areas from where it can come? Suppose I have a water bodies, I have these facilities, all those things. So I have to first check it out whether anything from there is giving me an indication from there it can happen. I have to check the plumbing joints over there in the water body section. I have to check those things because I have to come back to that. I have to see one by one, I have to cancel it out. You know, that the way we do, we have to cancel it out the right way. Okay, so that is the way we have to solve. Then we have to check the structure condition. Now, if the water has already gone inside, how much it has affected my structure? Okay, how much it is? Because on the surface, you cannot visualize anything. How much it has affected? Is the surface are having the void so that it can move through the surface? Okay, today so I have a problem here, tomorrow the problem will start somewhere, Saturday problem will start somewhere. When I have to see the holistic. So how I can do that? So I have to have a structural understanding of that. So there will be first a visual observation. First things is very important is that first a visual inspection. Total visual inspection is first in any condition assessment, visual inspection with a proper checklist has to be there. So qualitative evaluation of the structure soundness, identifying the symptoms with your tools, different types of tools, can be chisels, hammers, whatever you are using, depending on that. I'm not going to those parts. With the camera, photographs you have to take. Then information of the serviceability. Now, depending on the areas, what is the serviceability? What kind of the things are happening over there? If suppose the water is leaking, that how long it is coming? Is it coming only during the rainy season or it is the annually throughout? Okay, that will give you the thought that yes, when the water table is going up, then only the water is coming. Then it will give you an understanding whether we are standing in a dry basement or we are standing in a wet basement. So it will give, if it is throughout the year, that means there is a water, there is a problem that is coming. If it is only in rainy season, that means when the water table goes up, then only the water is coming. Okay, so we have to get an understanding that is from the people that when it is happening. Now, second thing is that extent of distress. How much has distress has happened? What are the problems has happened? Okay. All it will give you the problem. So all these things you have to visually. I'm not going to too much. We have a checklist for every surface. So every surface problem we have created more than 30 to 45 checklists. If you have to go for a basement, What should be? I have another 30 points checklist should be there. Whenever I'm going, I should have the checklist in the mobile and I should get it. Like Balaji, these people are going, when we go for a complaint analysis, we have a complete checklist. Every surface has a checklist. Okay, what you have to observe, right? So that is important. So according to you, you have to build up that. Okay, that's important. Next, coming to your test. What test I have to do? Where? Now, if it is any kind of defectiveness, deficiencies into the concrete quality, I can check with a bound hammer. I can check with a proper hammer, tapping hammer. So those things I can also check the how much is my cover depth actually. So we are told about that cover depth. In my podium, how much cover depth I have actually provided. Okay, we can check that cover meter. With that cover meter, we can check. And we can also map if there is a cracking. I can map the cracking, where the cracking has happened, how is the depth, how the weight has happened, what is the width of the crack, what is the depth of the crack. All those things we have to check it out. Because if there is a cracks are also. So there is a crack mapping to be done. Then after that, we have to also see the voids. Voids can be checked by UPV. You all know about UPV, ultrasonic pulse velocity. Okay. Now, what way you have to check it, that you have to situate, because you may not go to the top, you have to go surface wise. That indirect method you have to use for the UPV. Then, for the rebar corrosion, we have to check the structural member again. Rebar corrosion has to be checked. We have to do with a upsell potentiometer checking, right? So, I'm just mentioning one by one that these are the checkpoints. It may not be that everything has to be done. I'm not telling you that everything has to be done. It is the judgment of us. What the things we are seeing over there and what things we have to do there. If it is a failure of the waterproofing system with the moisture, suppose there is a moisture, you are not seeing anything. In these areas there may be leakage, there is nothing showing here. But tomorrow it may come. How do you understand that? That the water is not flowing to this side. It can be tomorrow. Okay? Or it can be already it has come but it is not showing today. Okay? So there is a method called the infrared thermography method. How the infrared thermography, I can check the leakage which is not potentially visible on my naked eyes. So I can see it without naked eyes which areas are not showing leakage or seepages. I can believe that tomorrow it will happen, so I have to take care of it. Okay? So these all things we have to understand. Moisture analyzers are there which will give you that there is any problems in the areas where from there can be an area where your tanking protection has gone. I can check it out that whether that areas can be there. So if there is moisture is coming to the surface. Now, that's why the important is that because the type A protection is on the outer side, I cannot reach there. Okay? In case of podium, if I have to do, I can do it because it's an external area. But in basements, I can't do it. Right? So those checkings are important. Infrared thermography, I don't know how many of you have seen. Infrared thermography is a camera by which you can capture the image both digitally as well as on infrared. Infrared thermography will give you the pictures on a thermal scale. You will be getting, suppose this is a building, now it's a normal digital camera. Now you can see it. Okay? Now here, these areas are showing the blue lines. Now these sections are showing the blue lines because the temperature. Don't take it that is a leakage. It may be that because of the joints which are opening and from there is an AC rooms. That's also showing the thing. Okay. So you can easily detect these are the problems areas where the actual, because the blue or light green lights will give you the indication where from, and then you can map it. The whole thing can be map it out, and then you have to surface by surface you have to map, and then you can understand from there it is coming. Maybe the leakage is shown here. From the entire scanning, we'll understand this is the path what the water is taking, and there is showing another problem that may be the source. So it will give you an indication where from the source is coming, and you can find out there may be a pipe there. Okay. So from here you have to scan the whole thing through the camera, and then ultimately you can find out the area where from. So it will give you understanding how the way. Now again, this will not give you the final analysis. Final analysis, because it will only show you a curve which are correct scanning. But all other tests, everything, then you have to find out. So NDT method has to be used where we have to, because you cannot destroy the structure. You cannot just equal the structure. So you have to see it accordingly. So this is the infrared thermography. Upsell potentiometer, how we check it? Anybody who has done this? You have checked it out. Anybody has used upsell potentiometer? Upsell potentiometer is an instrument. You have to cut open a section of the concrete, go to the rebar, connect it with the rebar. One section of the wire should go to the rebar, and one other cell is with you. So one hub cell is with you. Another rebar will be, so it will be your electrode. This will be another electrode of you, and you can see how the galvanic pulse is moving. Okay, and that will give you an indication what is the corrosion rate right now. Because water has already come in through the structural members, it has already touched your reinforcements. So what is today you are having what is my corrosion rate? What is the amount of corrosion happen, and what is the assessment part of it? Okay, so it will give you an indication for that. Okay.
So you are facing one phase. Cover also check.
After you have to do, suppose there is a part is like that. First of all, you have to check it with the cover. You got a cover flow, right? Then you have a debug locators. Debug locators will give you an indication where the deburs are going. Even if with the radars, penetration radars, you can understand that how much is the reverse where the thickness is also. Then you can check it out that where sections are, you can point the sections either with that, point the sections where you can check it out with that. These areas, these areas, these areas. How is the reverse is getting corrosion?
See one place. So you will cover
This much section you will get. See, the entire rebar in different multiple areas you have to check it. Now, maybe the rebar, your leakage main problem is here. So maybe that section will be give you the first indication. So here, now whether it is propagating there, or there. Because once it is started in one rebar, it will continue to go, na? Because once corrosion started, it will be continuously going. It will not be localized. It will continue. So this area maybe around 20% already has done. Now this area maybe have 10% done. That maybe even 2% done. So I have to take it care of. Okay. So that I have to check it out. So this indication will give you the probability of the corrosion. So if your upsell potentiometer reading is minus 50, minus 200 maybe 4. So it will be 90% probability of the no corrosion. Okay, so maybe at this end, you will not get any corrosion. So it has not reached up to that. So if I can, that's why yesterday what we shows you that Mehta's model, the initiation period. The initiation period has started. It has not propagated up to this month. But if I do not take care of this right now, tomorrow it will propagate. Okay, that initiation period we have to take care of. Yeah. So this is all the condition assessment, how the way. Now coming to the repair process. Podium se shuru karte hain. If it is on the podium side, I have on the positive side. Okay, you are on the positive side. If I have seen that there is a problem somewhere, and then I can do it from the top because I can put a positive support, positive protection on a podium because water is coming from the top. Your rainwater or holding water is coming. Okay, so we can definitely open the utility segments on the top speed, check for the slope, soundness, wherever that is not there, we can repair with that areas with the proper repair material, polymer modified mortars, something, wherever the areas which are not sound, that we can do. If the top speeds are not in sound condition, we can go to remove the top steering, we can go back to the parent base slab, and we can check the condition of the concrete also. Control joints. If the control joints are construction joints which are there on the top sheets over there is a control joints given. The control joints are not provided or control joints are not properly working, we can clean it and we can do that, right? So this is we can do because this is positive side. We can always do that, right? So all these facilities we can check the drain outlets areas, anywhere it is choked out, or where it is actually coming. As we are talking about the drain forecast, how to be done. Most of the cases will not be done like that. When you are throughout the periphery, the water is moving. Okay, and then it is showing, right? The drain board which is given under your roof gardens, which is not properly fixed. So water is going from there. The gardens which you have got, it is not given a slope. The water is getting stagnated. If you have soil, you have a stagnation of the water, definitely water will go down. Definitely water will go down. Okay. So each and everything we have to check it out, and if we have understood where from this is that sections we have to take it up. And then after doing all these repairs and things after that, then we can do a reinstate of the coating systems. Okay, whatever be the coating systems we have specified, that we can do that, and we can do a positive side coatings of the whole things, and again we can reinstate the facility. So my problems will be taken care at the first level. So it is my first level taken care of. This is done, right? Okay. And if it is to be done on the food traffic, so there are a lot of material. I'm not going to this kind of things at all in that. Okay, so these are the things what we can do from the positive side. Now coming to the problems varies. The problem is when we are coming from the negative side. Now in the basement, now it is not from the podium. Now coming from the walls and the floor side. Now there we can't reach the things. If we can reach. If suppose there is a building now in my in our Chennai office building. Yesterday only day before yesterday I was there. So we have seen there are some leakages which is happening in the basement walls. Okay. So what we have space outside. What we are told that we have to dig out the area, go up to the level, check the wall from the outside, and do the coatings and whatever is required from the outside. But it is not the case. You cannot reach because there is a building, there is some facility, there is a road. You cannot do that thing. So you have to do something from it internally. Now when you have to do internally, what you have to do? Now the water is already coming, or maybe the resin source is already there. No coating, nothing with that. Let me tell you very frankly, negative side on the roof. Somebody asked me that I have to do a ceiling coat. The ceiling coat is a just waste of money. Okay, the water is coming through the gravity. Whatever you put, tomorrow it will come. Okay, same things. If I having the water is coming from there with the pressure, if I am putting something on the coating, it will never. Okay, so no coating. Whatever the coating system, membrane system we have discussed in our last yesterday and tomorrow today morning, nothing is working for your negative side protection. These are all positive side. Okay, negative side protection has to be integral. Has to be integral. We have to build it up. Once it is done integrally, then we can do something on a pseudo part, and we can do an internal. Okay. So these kind of issues when it is there. Now in the basement, there can be issues which is happening. Plus there can be cracks on the surface. There can be construction joints here. There can be cracks here. All that. Okay. The process normally to be followed, that is the injection grouting. Okay. Now injection grouting, there are various ways of injection grouting. There are various materials. I can do injection grouting is a process. Can be done with cement. Injection grouting can be done with cementitious. Cementitious injection grout can be done with a high fine cementitious content. Okay. For that, your pump and machineries are all different. Now, injection grouting can be done by the resins, like your epoxies, like your acrylates, like your PUs, PU foam, so many different kinds of materials. Okay. Injection grouting for cracks has a different kind of injection systems. Now, what to select? Now, important is that if everybody will tell you, if I am making manufacturer of a PU grout, I will tell you, sir, you do it. If I am not having a PU grout, I have an epoxy grout, I will tell you, sir, do the epoxy grout. And that's the best way of getting the solution. Am I right? Okay. But as an engineer, this is not the best way to get the solution. So I should know the logical when we have to use what. Right? So injection grout, the first thing is the selection of the right injection material. When you are doing with the cracks, you have to understand if the crack width is minimal and it has a depth underneath. So when we are doing the crack mapping, I can get that how much is the crack has gone inside. Okay, width may be less. There I have to go with a low viscous epoxy or resin injection because I am putting the material inside. Material has to flow inside until and unless it is having a very low centipoise value of the viscosity, it will load inside. Cementitious material will be only on superficial. It will never penetrate and it will not go to the all your areas. So that's the first choice. If when you have the very high low activate but depth is high, go for a low viscous resin injection. It can be epoxy, it can be. That's the first choice. Okay. Then guidelines that I mentioned here 0.2 to 0.8 ml if it is. You can go with a PU or epoxy, or they can go for a very high blend value cementitious material. Okay, which is your cementitious, high fine cementitious, microfine cementitious. But if it is more than that, okay, well, you can go with a cement, you can go with a normal cement injection. Now, again, in the cement injections, you should not do only with cement injection. Why? Why? Have you done that? But then cement will shrink. So cement will shrink inside. Whatever if they only grout with the cement and sand mix and try to grout, or maybe on the cement and water, the material will flow inside, but then it will shrink. Then again it will leave the area. So whenever I am doing with the cement grout, when we are doing with the cementitious or cement grout, to always use an on-stream material with that. We have to use a material which is shrinkage compensating and mixture. Okay, so there has to be a shrinkage compensating and mixtures which has to be put into that, right? Otherwise, and in areas where you have to more effects of the liquid waterproofing, you can put also with the latex polymers and other than you can mix it. Okay. Now coming to the selection based on the substrate and the purpose, if it is damp patches, like as he is telling about that water tanks areas, the corners areas and those areas, we need to have a consolidate the concrete. Only consolidate the concrete has the voids. Okay, there I can go with a cementitious injection or cement injection with the first choice. That will be good. But if it is an active leakage, water is continuously coming, then cement injection not possible. Because I cannot do, because whatever the cement injection I will do, it will wash out. It will wash out. If I do an epoxy injection, it will never go. Okay, then what's the choice? PU injection. Again, PU, not plain PU, it is the PU, a particular variety of the PU which can give you the foam generation. That is an called hydrophobic PU. It is an hydrophobic PU only can be the choice there. Okay. Right? PU means polyurethane. So your all selection goes, cement goes, microfine goes, epoxy goes, plain PU goes, you are left out only with hydrophobic polyurethane. Right? Clear on this? So your selection of the material is very, very important, because until and unless we select it, we'll come into the problems. Okay, if I try to do with an epoxy injection, it will not at all set. Material cannot be done. Okay. Yeah. Again, challenge. So how to do the PU grouting? So I'm not going to the material part. There are two types of PU injections which are available in the market. One is called the normal PU materials. Okay, PU is a chemistry, polyurethane is a chemistry. There are various kinds of chemistries are involved into that. So basic chemistry of the polyurethane, where polyol and isocyanate works, is basically there is no water that works on the principle when it mixes together and then it goes inside, it hardens and it fills up the areas. Those kind of plain PU injections are used for where you have the voids inside the concrete, filling up the voids. Okay, or filling up the micro capillaries are inside the concrete. Okay, that is for the plain injection, which is this part of that. But there is another kind of the class of the polyurethane, which is an hydrophobic polyurethane. Whenever there is a water which is oozing out, we have to do with that material. That material, when will go inside, as soon as it comes in contact with the water, it will start foaming. It will start foaming, and with the foaming, it will expand and it will block the area. Okay. So whatever be the source of water where from it is coming, it is tunneled to the, I am putting into this. I'll show you the procedure, and then it will go as soon as it comes in contact. Because of its hydrophobic nature, it will immediately block it. That area will be blocked. Okay, clear on this? Now the next question should come. I was expecting some questions that the water is still there, it is blocked, but then that water will go where? Right now, I have not stopped it. I have just blocked it. I have not stopped it. We have not stopped it yet. But that's the first choice. First things you have to do, right? So when there is an active material, we have to go with a hydrophobic PU foam injections. which foams up to 4 times, initial foaming. So these are all material properties. Basically, is a good material for your basement or maybe in the bathroom wet area. Suppose you have a bathroom area, from the top it is leaking. Okay, now you not accessible. In our Mumbai, there's one of the best principle goals, mantra for the all people who are staying into the multi-story building. If you don't keep any relation with your floor people, keep a good relation with the people who is staying above. Until and unless you keep that relation, your life is done. Okay? Because if that person bathroom is leaking, you are the sufferer. He is not the sufferer. Huh?
Not only Mumbai.
I am just telling that Mumbai. I stay in Mumbai. I know this is because there is in this in some of the society. I will tell you. In one of the society, one person has been stabbed for that reason. This is the reason he was not responding. This fellow has stabbed him. He has gone to them. So our waterproofing is a serious line, sir. There's a lot of crimes are involved into that. Okay, so be into that. So that's the critical problem. So you have to be always cautious. So in the bathrooms areas, these as a one of the solutions. But bathroom, you should not start out with that first. Okay, we have to do something different. We will talk about. Few plane injections were to be done for the crack filling, removing. Again, in these cases, when there is an active leakage is coming, water is continuously coming. Our process is first to do PU foam and followed by the PU plane. So people the doing the waterproofing, they only do with the PU foam and goes out of the wall. Okay? It has only blocked. He has not worked anything on the source or he has not worked anything with the capillaries. So until and unless you do the PU plane injection on the second operation in the same stage, your other areas voids are still open. The water will take is another route from there. So when you are doing an active leakage problem, you always do PU foam injection followed by a PU plane injection. Those two, both the things has to be done. Then you have to ensure that that area will not leak. Okay? Better always to be on the separate point. Sometimes people do in the same point, but better always that you have to write it should be always in the same point. Yes, right? Fine. Okay, chale. This is the material. I am not going into the material. There are two components, there are single component, different materials are available into that. Okay. So there are different injection systems are there, routing machines, and you can see this machine. This is completely different for a cement injection. Cement injection you might have seen. Okay, that's a different machine. This is a completely different machine. Okay. So you have to mix the materials, pour it into this hopper. After pouring into this hopper, then there is an injection hose. Okay, with that injection hose, then the material will flow. But before that, you have to drill the areas. I will tell you what are the required that drill to be done. So this is for the drilling machines. This is for the mixing of the material, and these are all injection packers. The different sizes of the injection packers, and these are called the non-returnable injection packers. Non-returnable means the material which I am putting inside should not come back. Okay, because always when you are doing an injection system in concrete, they have a back pressure. Okay, they have a back pressure. Okay, so always in there should be a non-returnable valve is inserted into that. Should not come out. Right. Yeah, you have. What is your width of your span? Suppose your wall is 1 meter. You have to go for a meter one. Now I am coming to that. It's a good question. Now coming to that point. Why it is different? I should make it as only smaller one. Huh? Now when you have done a cement injection, you have only done around 2 inches, and then you have put that perforated pipes, right? White color perforated pipes. You can bulb it out. Now in case of the PU injection, now your span of slab or span of the wall, say 200 mm, okay, or maybe 250, 300 mm, depending on the retaining wall can be 500 mm also, half a meter also. The water is coming from the opposite side. Where I have to work? I have to work on the source. I have to work on the source. So I have to reach as close as to the source. Am I right, sir? As close as to the source. If I put a routing pipe with her and you are putting an injection up to this, I am putting it like this. Okay? And I am injecting it. Water has already reaches up to this level. Okay. Now wherever it will touch water, it will foam. What about the rest? Nothing. Understood on that? You have a this much span. You have put an injection this much. Now water is already started coming. Then here it will block. Now your source is this much away. Now with few foam injection, I have to reach here, and then I have to inject it. So my injection, my drilling has to be minimum 2/3 or 3/4 of the baseline. Okay, that is why when you do a PU foam injection, before that you have to first check it out where my rebars are. I should not drill through the rebars. Okay, na? First I have to check where my rebars are. Then I have to drill through the line, and I should reach the minimum 3/4 depth of the span. So that when I am putting the pressure, my material is leaving from the 1/4 distance of the source, and then immediately hit the source at the base point, right? And it is blocking at the source level. It should be blocked at the source level, not at middle. Am I clear? So that is why that drilling is important. In case of cementitious injections or maybe only the crack filling injection, you are not drilling that. So in PU foam injection active leakage, your drilling has to be minimum 2/3 to 3/4 of the slab, depending on the type of the slab, of the member. Right? That's why the sizes are different. You have to put that much in. And from this nozzle point, your actually done needle is going. Your material is going. So this much is going inside, and from there you are injecting it. And when you're injecting, it is going in the pressure, it's hitting on the outer surface actually, at the end of the surface. Okay, clear? How to do first? Now this is suppose this is the situation. Water or droplets are everywhere, water is coming from anywhere, right? Now first check it out which are the active sources. There may not be everything active. These areas are continuously water is coming. Some areas here and there are small things are there. Okay, it can be there. So and even if in the retaining wall area the water is coming from one side, I have to first channel out the water. First, what I have to do, we have to cut that area, drill that area. We have to put a pipe so that that water which is coming should channel out. Other section, let it be there. The major source of the water we have to channel out and throw it out. Okay? So we get a other steps. So the water is coming, just keep the material, holding for the material, it's a powder material. You hold the material for that, it will immediately set. So it will not allow the flow of the water to come. Okay, so you are blocking the other areas so that the water is not continuously coming. Right? Okay, that is the second part of the process. But it is not a solution, it is only giving you a temporary relief so that the water is not continuously coming. Then drill holes at the active leakages up to 2/3 of the base slab, as I told you. How to drill the holes? Drilling holes always should be at an angle of 45 to 60 degree angle. Okay, it should not be directly in the 90 degree or 0 degree angle. So always as a 45 degree to 60 degree angle. In case of active leakages, depending on the situation, in grouting there is some principles. Okay, so all people who know grouting, you know there is a principle is that whenever you are putting the grouting material, you have to take a center to center spacing between the drilling. The C2C spacing is very important because if you do not have a proper center to center spacing, your one go out and will go out, it will hindrance, and then the material will give you a back pressure. It will give you a back pressure. Okay, so depending on the situations, you have to have a minimum center to center spacing. Now, if you have normally with the normal grout with a void filling, you can have a grout center to center spacing of around say 300 mm also. Okay, but in case of this, you may have to do it with a 50 mm, 75 mm depending on the situation. Okay, so when it is active, you have to be closer. You have to be closer on that. Now, place the irreversible nozzle at the drilling point and fix it with a epoxy compound putty so that nozzle should not go, because when you are grouting it, there will be vibration. Okay, then you have to mix the materials properly. Okay, the pipes, this has to be very much, this has to be the pipes has to be clean. Okay, so normally what happens that when you are putting the injection hose, you are getting the material is going, some material will also be inside. And if there is any moisture, the foam will also be inside your pipe. So if your pipe gets choked, the material will not go. So to always clean the pipes with the solvents. Okay. So clean that with the solvents. Then mix the component. If it is a two-component system, then depending on the type of the thing, you go for injection pressure of the surface level, surface level. continue at the injections. After the completion of the foam injection, now I will show you a video that will be giving you much better one. And then heal the holes in the adjacent areas and place again the irreversible nozzle for the PU plane injection, right? Understood? Okay. And system to be followed for injection as the same as the PU foam. So first PU foam done, water has got stopped, and then we are doing again the drilling and doing the hose again and doing the PU plane injection. The PU plane injection, what will do? It will go to all the other hollow areas and your capillary pores. Go inside and then it will block those areas, fill those areas. So then your other parts of the water cannot move through the other parts. Okay, one so I have already done at the source level. I have edited this one, but still there may be, because whenever you are doing a grouting is nothing but a blind operation. I don't know what is happening. Okay, when doctor is putting an injection, he knows the chemistry, he knows what to do. Okay, but in case of grouting, I know what will happen, but concrete will not. So concrete will say grouting will go anywhere. Now, yesterday we were discussing something that I will do a grouting. Sometimes what happens, your wall thickness is low, you are doing a grouting. The material is not going to back to the soil. It is doing actually soil compaction, nothing in the concrete. Okay, so you very ensure about that. That or the way I am doing the things. Then after that, if you see that, you can see this foam. This kind of foams it forms. Okay, it comes out with the foam. So that water will stop completely. Then you are starting with a plain injections. I will show you a video right now. You see the water coming continuously. Flow air to clean the whole system. That will be the daily areas and all. This is one of the basement cellar locations. You can see the foam coming out. Showing for the same, which is actually to be done separate. Okay. Clear? Any questions, anybody? On pure foam injection? Anybody has done from this side? You have done pure foam injection. You have also done. This right? Right method or wrong method? Right? Again? Anything I have missed out? Sure? Normally, you can go with this one. There is a D1 that is IPO or that is one. D1 is the solvent which is the PU is 15 by better than not acetone. D1 thinner, again, there are acetone is a thinner, then your ethers is also thinner. So, organics, there are a lot of things is used as a thinner. What is the purpose of thinner? You have to understand. What is the purpose of thinner? Thinner is a material which can dissolve that way, right? Now, PU is a type of material which has to be dissolved by that type of material which can thin it out. It's a thin it out, ना? That you do. उसका chemistry अलग है, PU का chemistry अलग है, acrylic का chemistry अलग है, epoxy का chemistry अलग है, इसलिए use a particular thinner. Okay. Fine. Go ahead. Now, what is happening as I told you right till now? If suppose there is a from the horizon, top surface the water is coming. Now there from the water is coming and water is moving like this. Okay. Now as we are putting the pure foam injection, we are putting that inside. We are going up to this much and then we are injecting it, right? And then all the areas, this brown side, you can see the whole areas are getting foams. Okay. And then followed by your plain injection goes to fill the other areas. Similarly, in the vertical sections also, the water is coming like this, and when you are doing with the pure foam injections, it is going inside and then it is blocking the areas. Right? You can see here, after foam injection also, there are so many places where the capillaries are open. Right? Areas are open. That needs to be filled up by the plain injection. Okay? There is another kind of injection that is called a curtain injection. Curtain injection system. Curtain injection systems, when you are doing, that material is actually going out of the surface and creating a positive side barrier system. That's a different kind of ways has to be done. Then people are also doing, sometimes the water is coming from the below. Okay, you can also do a drilling into the basement areas, reach up to the soil, and you can do a soil stabilization there also. Soil stabilization injection can also be if there is any problems like that. So there are varieties of the injection system. This is a tiny short which I have to have it. Problems can be solved with the varieties of the injection system. Right? So this we have discussed on the active leakage. Now coming to the injection grouts for the cracks. When there are the cracks on the surfaces and the cracks having the depth or this and how we can do that. Now cracks normally is done, what the injection system should be used? Either epoxy or you can use a PU plane also. Okay. But low viscous. What is that? Low viscous epoxy. Okay. I will first show you the pattern. Let's show the pattern. You see this? This is the crack line. Okay? Your drilling of the holes should be on opposite sides. Exactly. Like this. Okay? It should not be on the mouth of the crack. It should be on the both sides of the crack in this. Tell me why. Everything should have a why. Why this? Why?
To arrest the holes.
Sir?
To arrest the holes. To arrest the voids. To arrest the
to arrest the voice. To arrest the voice. Why is it? Why you cannot? We can do it from the one side also. Why we are doing on the opposite sides? The crack is going like that. Internal. If you see it on a 3D way, okay, the crack on the surface, and then crack is moving, right? Now, which direction is the crack moving? You know, that is the first. What you have told, right? The crack is moving. It will not longitudinally going like that. The crack may go inside like this way. The crack, when the top cracks happens, then how is the pressure goes? The stress goes. The stress on the crack. First of all, the stress may be because of load or anything. The stress has happened. Now that stress from the surface goes into the concrete matrix. Now in the matrix, what breaks? It breaks the first breaking. First weak links is what? Your aggregate and the cement paste. Okay, that is the weakest links inside the concrete. So that link will not be on the same mapping. So it can go like that. So until and unless if you are not doing both the sides, you cannot map it. Okay, so you have to take the both sides. Reachable. Second things why it is to be done, it is a simple probability. Simple probability. One hit may miss my crack. One drill I have done the injection. It may not reach my crack line. The second one will reach my crack. Because I know it's a blind operation. I don't know what it is going. I can't see it. So it's a blind operation. The second question is the probability. So I should make it always in the probability. I should take the maximum. Okay, clear? Okay, that is why it has to be zigzag and it has to be at a 45-degree angles of that. Before the crack filling, what you have to do? First, after the drilling is done, fix your nozzles, everything. Seal the mouth. Mouth has to be sealed first. Otherwise, the material which you are pushing will come out. Easiest way out. Easiest way out. With the pressure, it will come out. Right? So it will first seal the face, then start grouting. You have to start grouting from one angle. Suppose the vertical crack is there. Where from the grout to start? Lower from upper.
Lower.
There are two options on the only thing. Somebody can say lower, somebody can say upper. Anybody used to say lower, then you have to give a reason. Who is saying upper, you have to give a reason.
Start from lower. If you are doing from upper, every material has a tendency to come downstairs. Okay? Now, when the lower also you are doing, so everything will go to the down. Your cracks on the upper side will not fit. So you have to make it pressurized from the upper. This direction is the whole thing. Like if it is the wall, crack is like that. But drilling is like this. The drill is like this. It is not like this. It is going like this. Okay, and then you have to start from lower and go down. Then you can feel it. Otherwise, if you start from there, you can do it. Material will always have a tendency to go down. That is material. Gravity pulling will be there. So it should be lower and then go down. And again come back. Again come back. Horizontally, you can start at any direction. There is no issue. Horizontally, you can do from any direction. But when it is a vertical, it is the process you have to follow. You get clean, right? Correctly. Okay. Then first seal the mouth, do the drilling, go back, again come back. Okay. Again come back to the first point. Until and unless your material comes out, you will not see that the grouting is not full. Okay. The material has to come out. Then only you will understand. Sometimes there is a back pressure which will give you a false indication. The material has come out. You may have to move to the second point. You have to move to the second point. Sometimes what happens, these areas you break is not that much. The material will also give a back pressure. Grouting is a very serious operation. Always to be safety is a must for it. When people think that it's doing grouting, grouting can actually create, it can be a bounce back. And specifically in this case of epoxy injection, the whole concrete can bounce back. Okay, please take the safety. Always take the safety. Okay, fine. This is the sealing part of it. And as I mentioned, I have not gone to the process part, just use the process. So, you have to mark the injection port, fill out about 30 to 80 minutes. What if I clean it, fix the mouth of that. Then all these areas we fix up and then fill the cracks and then fix the nozzle. And then finally, once sealing is done, we will check the function of the whole system. So before doing the things, you have to check the functioning of the system. It can be injected either by low or high pressure method, depending on the type of the substrate, type of the emission it is. Concrete is made to 2-3 bar pressure. When cap is 2-6 bar, when caps are dry. As soon as the injection dot appears, the next nozzle, go to the next nozzle, and then injection is continued through that nozzle. Continue the same, and this is right. Okay, then finally, sealing is done on the top. Then you have to open it up. Again, seal it with a proper epoxy. Initially, sealing is done by a temporary, and then again open it up. Again, seal it properly. So then your entire crack, you have to cut it properly. That crack has to be opened up, and then you have to seal it with a proper epoxy. Yeah, clear? Fine, sir. Now coming to the next part, after I have done. Now this grouting has been done where? We have done the grouting as the active leakage. We have done the grouting for the crack treatment. And similar way we can do the grouting either cementitious, and I am not going to the cementitious, which is very common system for you. We can do the construction joints. Now in the construction joints, in some constructions, people provide injection hose system. How many of you have seen? Have you seen this? During the construction itself, people provide this blue color. You can see this. This is called the injection hose system. Okay, this is the one. Okay, so injection hose systems is already provided. So you have the junction box are already there, where from you can inject it out. Okay, so that is the provisions given already. Otherwise, the construction joints has to be opened up. You have to cut it, then you have to put the nozzles and you have to grout it. Right? Okay, you have seen it. After the grouting is done, open the construction joints, right? Because there will be cracks around the construction joints. Then clean the grooves properly, prepare the glue. After the soft flowing, they can make a crystalline. It's a crystalline material which comes, you can mix it up. Okay, with 3:1 ratio, you can make it a putty, depending on the material to material. You can make it a putty and fill the area with that. Okay. What will be different? This material, when it will be there, it will work, it will be present there, right? Any water. Now you have given a water stop there, maybe, or may have missed out water stop. Now whatever treatment you will be giving, you cannot reach to the positive side. Right? You are doing everything from the interior. Okay. Now if I am only sealing with the cement concrete or something with that, it may again shrink tomorrow because your entire construction joint is still open, right? You are only working on the face mount. So water again can come in, and through the cement concrete it can again come out, or through the entire cycle. Why we are doing it a crystalline putty? Because that material will stay there. Whenever the water will come, it will start forming a crystals. Okay, and it will block that area. Clear? It will block that area. The crystalline will make a crystalline crystals over there and block that area. So entire construction joint areas will be blocked from there. Okay, so that will not allow the voids. There is no voids left so that the water can come. I'm taking into consideration other parts of the retaining wall are intact, and that is good count. Your weak link is only construction joint. So I have to make it that construction joint section completely voids. Okay, that is why the crystalline putty is given at the junction point, construction joint, right? So that is given, fill it up, because whenever the water will come, that is the way it will show, it will form the crystalline zone, right? It will seal that. Clear? Okay. This is the opening of the construction joint, preparing with the crystalline mortar. As you can see here, it's open purpose
and this is the intercrystalline mortar fin. Okay. After this is the process, as I told you, filling up how the crystalline works. And after application, after the joints has been done, we have to apply a crystalline as a surface application coating. As a surface application coating. Now, crystalline is applied as a coating, but crystalline is not a coating. Crystalline penetrates inside. Okay, crystalline material, when you are applying as a coating brush, applying of that, it will go inside and it will penetrate inside the concrete. The entire surface of the concrete, the areas where it penetrates, it will seal the entire area. Okay, all the voids it will be sealed. So construction joint has been taken care by the putty, and the entire area, other area will be taken care by the crystalline material. So we are giving an integral protection from the by the crystalline application. So from this area will be watertight. But I can't reach the negative side of the positive side. I'm not able to reach the positive side right now. So the surface I cannot do. So that is done with the crystalline coating application. That's what we have shown in the this one. Crystalline entire surface. Construction joined by the putty and then the entire surface by the crystalline coating. Clear? Okay. Can arrest a little bit, sir, right now, basement? What are you? Can be arrested now? Huh? Can be arrested, na? Yes. So, other area I have told you yesterday, another problem which happens when you are in the basement areas because of the vehicular emissions. All the columns and the surface areas that get carbonated very fast. And carbonation is one of the critical problems in that. So that is why in those areas, preferable to use cover the concrete areas with a anti-carbonation coating. It's always better to take the build protection. Okay, so all the structural areas, concrete areas, we should with an anti-carbonation coating system. So anti-carbonation coating system will not allow any gaseous material to percolate through. Okay, normal paint doesn't, it gives you very easily the gas permeability. In anti-carbonation coating doesn't allow the gas permeability. The carbon dioxide cannot enter. It gives you complete protection. Okay. So that can be given on the all the columns and other areas. So you can easily do the surface. It's simple like a paint coating. You have to only do the surface preparation, clean the surface properly, and then you have to apply by the 2 coats of 3 coat system.
Is only for wall, or can we do for that bridges?
Can do for the bridges. External areas to mask, because as we are covering only basement and
normally we are doing bridges,
fires, columns, everything. Fires, column, everything. I think which project in that national highway we have done? The entire bridge has been done with a anti-carbonation. Right? But to normal, see, if you are going with a good quality weather resistant coating, like we have a coating called the Dr. Fixit raincoat system. I'm giving you an example. Other Asian paints also have them. Good quality weatherproof coating system gives you some bit of the anti-carbonation resistance. But anti-carbonation coating has a different chemistry. Okay, so that is why all coating doesn't have. Raincoat is having an anti-carbonation facility. It is there. We have built it up. But if you purely look for areas of the anti-carbonation, like the area of the basement is one section. Industrial areas, specifically industrial, your open areas like the bridges and all, should go for an anti-carbonation, which is anti-carbonation. And it can be colored. This is colored. It is basically you can tint it. It's very simple. It's like a paint, but you are protecting. Not much. I think those 7-8 rupees how much? Very simple.
bridge we are 12% anti-carbonation.
It's not enamel, it's a device.
Anti-carbonation.
Actually, we tried for
Sunanda தான் இருக்கு.
மேடவாக்கம் bridge we have gone actually. அப்போ வந்து investigation
அது வந்து எபாக்சி இருக்குது. இது வந்து only anti-carbon.
Sir, anti-corrosive coating which Sunanda provides, that polyalk and others, that is different. Anti-carbonation is on the concrete. Anti-corrosive coatings which Sunanda has a system, that is for the reinforcements. You're talking about anti-carbonation. I'm just doing that. If it is anti-carbonation, is on the concrete.
Now we are doing it anti-carbonation.
Oh, sir. So there are available systems are available with everyone. Not very better, but it has a different way, but it's a breathable coating also. Breathability is important in a coating system because it should allow the moisture to go. Okay, that is important. Every coating, wherever the weather-resistant coating has to be breathable. The breathability has to be there. Otherwise, what will happen? Suppose you are putting with the resin coatings, the resin coatings are not always breathable. So internal moisture, the concrete surface has to be breathed. Okay, if you close its breathability, the concrete surface will start deteriorating fast. So it should be breathable coat. It should allow the, like our human skin perspiration. It should allow that perspiration. Okay. Now finally, coming to the wet areas. So basements and other areas we have discussed. Again, in the wet areas, I will go in a step by step, very simple. I will not go to the grouting part. That part we have already discussed. We have already talked about. Okay, but the relation part is very important. Huh? Now, question is that if your situation is like that, your bathroom areas, your walls and others are having the seepages. Normally, what happens? The bathroom areas, as I've shown you yesterday, also that the skirting areas and the outside walls gets the leakage and seepage dampnesses. Okay, which is very common. Now, what to do in these cases? Where it is a central wall. What is to be done? Now there is a bathroom and this area, this wall has got the dampness. What is to be done? So should we do the wall first and or what to do? I've seen a lot of people jump into the wall solution. Jump into the wall solution. Will it solve?
Inner you have to do the tiles and epoxy joint.
So we have to do the stages. We have to do the stages. Like
inner only we have to do the protection.
You have to do the protection that is from internal. External part will come here. So your positive side is this. This is your positive side and this is your negative side. Our waterproofing should always come from the positive side, right? So what we have to do here also, the question is, I cannot go to the entire bathroom to say break open. I have to go stages. So that is why the stage wise. First I have to understand why it is happening. Again, the RCA part. Where are the possible sources of leakage in bathroom? As Ashwati was also showing you those areas. One of the critical location is around your Nani trap. The Nani trap joints are one of the critical location, because even if normally what we do against the trap area, we normally put a white cement or do some tile grouting. But with the time, that gets eroded up. So that is, now we are talking the medial waterproofing repairs. Now it gets eroded up. The water will start percolating. Okay, and that water, while it will reach, either it will reach the baseline. Sometimes what happens, it may reach your base concrete. If it is non-sunk portion, non-sunk portion, floor level it starts moving. Even if through the tile joint or the cracks in the tiles, it reaches to the concrete base. Okay, and then it starts horizontally moving, and then at the wall level it starts showing. Okay, so your areas are the cracks, your areas are the crack joints, your areas are also on the tile joints areas. Okay, floor tiles and also on the cracks in the wall floor intersection joint. So these are the areas, one the tile joint, crack joints, even the floor areas joints. So these are the areas that has to be first checked. How is the condition of that? Most of the cases, your bathroom waterproofing can be easily solved if you do the tile joint fillings properly. 80% of the cases can be easily resolved. Okay, right? So that is the first thing. Then you have to also see how is the opening of the tile joints. Failure into the pipe joint. Now, if you are done for a non-sunk slab, your pipe joints will be like this. And there will be in the below the floor, there will be a false sealing you normally do. And these joints, if it open up, the water will start. Okay. So these are the things which you have to first check it out. Then, what is the step? We have mentioned the steps here, how we should go so that it should be open and clean the joints and the trap and fill it with the epoxy tile grout that we have already told about first step. So if that goes well, fantastic. Okay, the areas will be dry and then you can do the inside part of it. If that is not done first, then you have to where is the next source? Next source may be the plumbing. Entire plumbing conceal areas, right? So you have to do what to do before the plumbing to be opened up. You have to do a pressure test. So do a pressure test first. Pressure test will give you an indication where the plumbing joints has opened. Okay, that area you can open it and you can do a repair. That's why I'm telling you we can very easily repair if the only plumbing joints open and joint is sealed. Things can be done. That much tile you can resist it within the 10,000 rupees. The work is done. Okay. Bathroom repair actually the people takes more money. Now, one of my buildings, bathroom repair has been done by one second floor person. The contractor has asked himself hardly 7x4 bathroom, 70,000 rupees. You can charge anything, right, sir? That charge always the pride that he does a fantastic job. Yes. So if that is confirmatory, if that is the joint, do that. Upon removal of joint, do order provisioning. If that is also not happening, then you have so this is the confirmatory. Then you have to remove the tiles and do the waterproofing treatment, the positive what Ashwati has told. And that is also not working. If it is not at all to be done, no one is going to go. You are not allowed to go to that bathroom. Then come to your injection system. Okay? You should not go to the first to the injection system at all. So how to do waterproofing bathroom? We have already talked about. I will not go into that. So all these things, as we have already told, I just instantly that proper slope. Ensure there is a proper slope. Sometimes you have the traps, but you do not have the slopes. Okay? So make sure the slope is proper at the thing. The tiles, adhesives and joints, there are different types of tile adhesives are available. Please use the right kind of the tile adhesive for the right kind of the tiles. And fill it with a proper, in the bathroom, always go for an epoxy based tile adhesives. Always. Don't go by the brand and epoxy based tile adhesives, that is most important. Because you are using a lot of detergents, chemicals which erode off actually. Mixing of the tile adhesives, how you mix it, how to apply. A tile adhesive application again is a art by itself. Because people sometimes what they do, they put the tile adhesives on the back side of it and put the. Or sometimes they put it on that and directly put the tile. Tile adhesive application after making the bed, you have to make a ridge on it. You can see this. You have to make a ridge with the notch trowel. Okay? You have to make a ridge. After the ridge, depending on the what kind of the bed you are making, it's going to be 3 mm, 4 mm, 5 mm, depending on that. Then you have to take the tiles. Okay, take the tiles. Just like you are putting. After putting it, you have to move that tiles. Okay, so that ridge we have created, that is break open and it is getting bonded. This will ensure the sealing of the tiles. Otherwise, your tiles will be always, there is a chance the tiles will be trying to come. Okay. So tile adhesive application is again a application you have to do rightly. Then you have to also do the finish of the spacers should be always applied to seal the tile grouts. Right? This is how the way we finish it off. Finally, with the water tanks again, this Ashwati has again taken care of, but make sure that grouting is done properly at the joint points and all the corner areas and others grouted properly, and then you can do the coatings and others. And whenever you have a water tank should be coated on the. Sometimes people miss this section to be coated. Okay, they only do the vertical and the below. They take the above the heads, they don't do the coating. But above the heads areas required to be coatings are what water you bring here. It is a chlorinated water because the treatment is done with a chlorinated water. In a concealed environment, that chlorine gas evolves and your concrete gets corroded very faster. Should always make it a 360-degree protection of your concrete. Okay. So this is the final finishings and others, and then you can apply a proper dam proofing coat on the inside as well as on the outer side of the wall. So I'm not going to cover that. The walls can be coated. There are various kinds of materials. After doing the bathroom portion, you come back to the wall and then you can do the waterfall. Okay, clear? So I'm closing here. So for all your information, this is Dr. Fixit helpline number. Dr. Fixit has an advice center wherever you can reach. Anybody can be reached at any time. And back end of this, there is a Dr. Fixit technical help desk solution. Okay, Dr. Fixit technical help desk solution. You just give them the number also. Dr. Fixit technical help desk is a platform where you can reach on phone anytime. You can reach to the portal. Come up with your problems, you can put it up and they will come back. Either 10 engineers, civil engineers are continuously sitting there, will give you the solutions from that. You can also make a video call anytime from your site. You can do a video call with their engineers, they can give you the solution. So it is a live platform which gives you a kind of solution to you. And this is built, and Dr. Fixit technical help desk also have a portal which gives you 140 waterproofing solutions of different surfaces with their BOQ specification, materials, methods, TTS, MSTS, everything at one go. So ensure that, please ensure they should have the portal login. Okay. Please give your mobile number, and we have already have a mobile number. Let's ensure everybody will get a login ID for that. Okay. So you can go to the login ID, you will get the. Right? So that's all from my side. Thank you very much. Let's take a lunch, good lunch. Okay, and after lunch we'll have a practice. It's all following. Yes.
So lunch is arranged at the same place, sir. Whatever you good.
இருக்கேன்.
கூட்டிட்டு போயிடுங்க.